4602.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Again, that number is 954.
It's almost showtime.
4602.
If you suffer with diabetes,
Oh, man, if you're new here, make sure that you sub. Everybody, hit that like button if you don't mind. That helps a lot. If you love Trump, you're going to love this show. This is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere on the planet Earth. And this is truly the MAGA show of record. There's no doubt about it. We're on a bunch of radio stations here in South Florida. And we stream here on YouTube while I'm on the radio. I put up a lot of other content here too. But we take live calls from our radio listeners and you guys on YouTube. You can call us too, toll free. I give out the number when the show starts. It's our top of the show break here. Top of the hour break.
diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before
That's right.
begin. Oftentimes,
Good morning, Beverly.
diabetes
And everybody else too.
one of the preventable
I didn't finish my coffee at home, so I had to bring it in here.
Call the Soul Authority at 954-597.
I was reading through the news, and I lost track of time and didn't finish my coffee, so I've only had a little bit of coffee.
That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Open enrollment is here. Eagle Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. Eagle Advisors
Too much milk in that coffee? Yeah, it's real milk. Yeah, it's milk. I like my coffee with lots of milk. Not creamer, milk.
the right choice for your needs. Call us direct
I know liberals don't think we should be drinking whole milk,
888-955-7538.
but I like whole milk.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution?
What does that mean? Biden isn't making. I thought you said Brian for a second. Biden.
9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
This is one of my favorite shirts, my Space Force shirt. Make space great again.
South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free.
Here we go.
Cocaine 1. That's 1 cocaine 1. And now,
Alrighty. Yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man. It's Friday morning. That means this is the most important Steve Kane show of the week because this is not just our live morning show from 6 until 9 a.m. here in Morning Drive, but this is also our overnight rebroadcast, which will air a total of 35 times over the weekend before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best, but aren't all the shows great? Indeed, they are. We've got a lot to talk about today, and we have some textbook evidence occurred yesterday that really puts into question who is running America. Who is running America? Doesn't seem to be Biden. We're going to get into that real quick here. Also, some huge, very upsetting news involving the Thomas Edison of sleep, Mike Lindell. I was reading a story this morning that is very upsetting what they're trying to do to Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow. We're going to get to that later, and a whole bunch more. There's just a couple stories we're going to get into. But I want to start first, though, with this who's running America. It's certainly not Biden. Over this $450,000 to the separated migrants who were separated during the Trump administration. Now notice, they're not going to pay money. They're not even suggesting paying money to the migrants who were separated during the Obama-Biden administration, just the Trump administration. And a lot of people wondering, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Some believe, and when I say some, I mean Steve Kane, believe that this is something, this $450,000 to each of the migrants. That means these families can become instant millionaires, which is very destructive. You know, you put that kind of money in the hands of people like that, where do you think that money's going to go? What do you think will... You ever see that show, Lottery Ruined My Life, on CNBC? My goodness. I remember there was this one guy they did a story on. He worked at the Home Depot. He won like a $20 or $30 million lottery winning. And he ended up in his attic with a gun, to his head, with a SWAT team outside. He was suicidal. He blew through all the money, and he was spending money so fast that he was getting the yearly payouts. He took a loan on his future lottery payouts. He blew through that. I mean, it's ooh. You know what happens to these lottery winners? A lot of terrible things happen to lottery winners because they get that windfall of cash. Giving $450,000 to each family member that was separated, which that's a number. I don't even know if they could put a number on that because so many people come across that southern border. But that is incredibly destructive, not just from a financial standpoint of from the country giving free money away at that level to people, but you have a family. These are people that are Catholic. Some of these families are rather large. These families will be multi-millionaires overnight. It will cause all kinds of problems that you could not imagine. And I know you say, oh, rich people problems. I'd love to have that. No, these will not be rich people problems. These are lottery windfall type problems, and that leads to nowhere. And most of the people will be broke within 6 months, even less. Most of them will be broke in a year. If you gave $450,000 to each illegal migrant that came into this country during the Trump first term there, and you went back to them in a year, 90% or more of them will be flat broke. You'll find families destroyed. Oh yeah. It would be a terrible, very destructive thing. Anyway, Biden said it's not happening. Let me play the clip of Biden first. This is Biden with Peter Doocy.
Mr. President,
This ought to be good.
I think so too. About the way forward, Mr. President, as you were leaving for your overseas trip, there were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report.
Yeah,
Okay, so
$450,000 per person. Is that what you're saying?
that was separated from a family member at the border under the last administration.
That's not going to happen.
Well, okay, so that's garbage report. It's not going to happen. Biden even saying it'll encourage mass migration to the southern border if you keep promoting that trash. So Jen Psaki is out with the COVID, and filling in for her is, I forget the girl's name. She's got a French name that is filling in for Psaki. And she came out yesterday and corrected the President of the United States.
The president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government. DOJ can obviously speak more to that process. The president what he was reacting to was the dollar figure that was mentioned, that you mentioned to him yesterday. As press accounts to date indicate, there's been press accounts on this, DOJ made clear to the plaintiffs that the reported figures are higher than anywhere that a settlement can land. Again, this is something that the Department of Justice can speak to. I do not have anything more to add to this.
Wow. So, yeah. So who is running America? Who is running this country? PJ, you guys know PJ. He calls in sometimes. PJ Gladnick. You out there, PJ? PJ's a good guy. He goes with us on our cruises, and he's an incredible writer. with Newsbusters, which is Newsbusters is a very credible and very good conservative online news website, newsbusters.org, and I've been going there for many, many years, and PJ Gladnick, he's a writer for that. He called us, this was during the campaign, he called us on the air. This has been a long time. This is when we were at our studio in Coral Springs before I moved up here to the radio station, and we built the Laporta Contracting Cooper City Steve Kane Radio Studio for Steve. This is when we were in Coral Springs, because I remember the call because it involved a reference to Star Trek. There's a Star Trek episode called Patterns of Force, which is if you don't know Star Trek too much, it's the episode where Kirk and Spock, who are both Jews, by the way, Shatner and Nimoy, Kirk and Spock beam down to a planet that the Nazis run. And it's like the Nazis in the 1940s here running the show. And there's a guy by the name of John Gill, who was a historian from Earth, who went there and converted the whole planet to the Nazis. And they find him at the end, and John Gill is so drugged up and out of it, he's just a figurehead, and the Vice-Fuhrer is running the planet. And PJ, he called in, and he said Biden is John Gill. And you know what? He was right on the money. John Gill, Star Trek episode Patterns of Force, one of my favorite episodes of the original Star Trek series. Yeah, I watched that episode almost more than any other episode, a couple of Doomsday Machine's like my favorite. But anyway, don't get me sidetracked on Star Trek. Steve will drive up here from Cooper City and rip the microphone right off of me here. But yeah, and that's what's going on. Biden was clear. He didn't even know. He did not even know they were doing this. So they are governing without him. We're in a crisis right now. And I believe the American people got a right to know who is running America. I want to hear your thoughts on this. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's not Kamala. She's checked out. She's not even at the White House hardly. She comes by every once in a while, but she's out of the loop. Who is running the country? Who signed off on this payoff to the migrants without telling the President of the United States? And also, I'd like to know when what's her name, the White House spokesperson that's filling in for Psaki. How did that statement come to be? Did they even tell Joe Biden that they were going out there to correct him? It's very frightening. It's very frightening. And it's not funny. I see a lot of people online are laughing about it and they think it's hilarious. It is not funny. The United States is the leader of the world in every aspect, economically, militarily. The reason there has never been a third world war is because of the United States. And when something like this happens, it's as if he's been deposed. The last time I saw something like this actually happen on television was when the Soviet Union was about to collapse. And I remember this clearly because I was watching it on television at the time. And I know a lot of you saw this. Gorbachev, was the last premier of the Soviet Union. Remember, there was a coup. There was a coup by Boris Yeltsin, who... Was Boris Yeltsin the mayor of Moscow? I think he was the mayor of Moscow. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, he was behind the coup, Boris Yeltsin. They had the tanks on the Kremlin, and they did it while Gorbachev was out of town. He was at a resort along the Black Sea, where all the communist heads were, and he was being held prisoner in this resort, so they said. We've never really gotten the full story of that. At one point he left, got to the airport, and soldiers stopped him. But when Gorbachev returned to Moscow, he came out on a balcony at the Kremlin with Boris Yeltsin and started to address the people as if he was still running Russia. Boris Yeltsin came in and took over right then and there, corrected Gorbachev on live television around the world and took over. And it was obvious that Gorbachev was no longer in charge at all, that Boris Yeltsin was. Now, and that's something that we actually saw. The president of the Soviet Union, the premier of the USSR, was deposed. Bob Woodward wrote of the American coup that happened after January 6th in the United States, where General Milley got together with Nancy Pelosi and took control of the nuclear arsenal and the United States military away from the commander-in-chief, at the time, President Trump. So obviously, Joe Biden is not running the show. Who is? It's too easy just to say Obama. Quite honestly, I know a lot of people say that, and it's an easy thing to say. Have you seen Obama lately? He's on permanent vacation. I'm not saying that he doesn't get briefed and he's not in a loop of people, but he's living the life of a rich, retired playboy president. He's living the life that Bill Clinton lived when he was in the White House, okay? You saw him at his birthday party like he was an 8-year-old little boy celebrating his birthday. You know, so Obama's not running things. He may be involved and get some information, maybe give some input from time to time, but he's not running things. He is living a wild and crazy life right now. He's enjoying himself. You guys know what I mean. So who is? Is it by committee? Is it Pelosi? Is it Garland because this payoff involves the Justice Department? I don't know. But I do know who it's not, and it's not Joe Biden. And this country is in a crisis right now with something like that happening. Correcting the President of the United States in a White House press briefing, I've never seen that happen. It's almost as if he's been deposed. It's almost like those days with Gorbachev being held at that Black Sea resort. It's not funny. It's dangerous. And it's wrong. And I don't like Biden, but I want to know what's going on here. And I think the American people have a right to know. And I'm watching Fox News. Peter Doocy does some good stuff. But enough of patting themselves on the back about the great questions that Peter Doocy is asking, and get to the bottom of what I'm asking. Who is running America? What led up to a decision for a White House spokesperson to come out and correct the next day the President of the United States? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us, no matter where you're watching us online. If you're listening to us online on some platform, it is toll-free no matter where you are. I just knocked my sign down behind me. It's just taped up there with Scotch tape. Nothing fancy here. We're a low-budget operation. We're fiscally conservative. All right, let's take our first break of the day. We'll come back. Lots more to talk about. Do not go anywhere. You know, it's raining. It's been raining bad this morning. We're in rainy season. This is hurricane season in Florida. And if you got a wet spot on your ceiling, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and have him do a free roof inspection of your home. He just completed a new roof for Steve, which is beautiful. Oh, man. And Steve's got such a cool, unique roof. It's a conversation piece on his block, I promise you. But no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting can help you. He does every type of roof, too. Single-family home, condo, apartment buildings, office buildings, warehouses, churches. Whatever the roof style is, he can do it. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And again, no matter where you are in Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West and every place in between, Gulf Coast, the East Coast, the Space Coast, South Florida, give him a call, 954-604-4602. Back with your calls after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing
Steve Kane Show.
construction industry industry since 1982.
Hey, on.
We are State of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602.
This is my coffee from home. I just...
Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for him.
All right, 24 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are back. The question is, who is running America? It's not Joe Biden. Who is running America? Your comments on this correction by the White House yesterday of what Biden said about the money to the migrants, I'm frightened by this. I want to hear what you all think. Good morning. You're on the radio. Oh, here we go. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Tim from Moncton.
Tim from where?
Moncton.
Where's that at?
In Canada.
Oh, hey, Canada. What province are you in?
New Brunswick.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. New Brunswick. Wow. Oh, well, that's nice. I think you may be our first caller from New Brunswick. Anyway, what's on your mind?
A few times.
Yeah.
I was just listening to you saying about them paying the migrants at the for being separated at the border. And it clued into me, what are the odds that they're doing that to draw out the families of the kids who aren't with their families when they get to the border?
Oh, you mean, you think... Okay, you think the United States Justice Department is trying to reunite families by using this bait to get people to try to collect the money?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness. We're talking about the Justice Department led by Garland, who's a corrupt public official, okay, who calls parents domestic terrorists. So no, that would be nice. That would be nice, but that's not the case.
I'm just thinking that might be their excuse in the end.
No. Their excuse in the end is we're paying the money. You know, and this is amazing. You know, our southern border's been wide open with the Brandon administration here, and our northern border's been locked tight like the Berlin Wall during all this time. It's starting to open up now, but my goodness.
Yeah. It needs to go.
He's only prime minister because his daddy was back in the 90s. What has he ever done? Hey, listen, Canada, thanks for the call. Canada Calling. There used to be a news segment on the radio called Canada Calling, where they would do, usually, it's happening this year, though. It's starting to come back. Our Canadian snowbirds coming back to Florida. I haven't seen any Quebec license plates yet, but hopefully we will sometime soon. Now, this is a very bad time we're in. This is a very bad time we're in this country. It's not good. Now we're moving out of it, as the elections this week showed us. But I'm not feeling safe this morning with that business. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lewis, how you doing?
Lewis and Plantation. I hear. I'm not kidding about this. There's a movement to rename the city of Plantation because they say it's racist. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. You think I'm joking?
Yeah.
I'm serious as a heart attack. What's on your mind?
Commentary, on this. Biden is checked out and doesn't even know he's in the White House. The reality is that the liberals still heard a conference where Biden was still blaming Trump for stuff that was happening now, of course, as they usually do.
but at least we knew Trump was calling the shots. You know, they can blame him for everything they want and blame him for legitimate or not legitimate, which is most of it not legitimate and corrupt. But at least we knew he was calling the shots. Right now, there's no liberal that can honestly claim that Biden is calling the shots.
Well, that's frightening, because there are decisions that got to be made. You know, the Iranians pulled up on one of our boats and one of their gunboats and pointed weapons at American sailors this week. No wonder they're doing it. We've got no one in charge to step in to do anything about it.
Yeah, as a former military guy back in the day, you know, I wonder what current service people are thinking right now about their commander-in-chief. You know, I just really wonder.
Probably not a lot of good. You know, especially with the mandate. There's a purge going on of conservatives in the military with the mandates. They're going to give people dishonorable discharges. Some are going to be court-martialed. What's going on with the military is not good.
At least we know, like I said, my commentary is simple. We knew Trump was in charge. You may not have liked it, but we knew the guy was calling the shots. And, you know, for the most part, as we all say, the country direction. And now we're in a slippery slope, and it's less than a year.
No doubt. All right, thanks for the call. Yeah, you know, the guy, he's calling from Plantation, which is a city here in South Florida. I used to live in Plantation with my wife when we first got married. And Plantation is called Plantation because when the first developers developed the area, they had these huge lots. And the developers were selling it as have your own plantation. And liberals believe that the only type of plantation are slave plantations, which is, there were slave plantations, but that's only one type of plantation. There's all kinds of plantations. And there are black activists here in South Florida that have been very active in trying to have the city of Plantation change their name because they believe it's racist. I was watching Mark Dice on YouTube yesterday. Mark Dice, pretty funny guy. He's a brilliant mind, Mark Dice. If you don't know who Mark Dice is, you should find out who he is. He's hilarious. And I first heard of Mark Dice years ago. He would go out to the pier in Long Beach in California and make these hilarious videos. He would go up to people on the pier and ask them to sign a petition to suspend the Bill of Rights, and they'd sign it, you know, things like this. But he was talking about a meme that I've not heard of before, but it's so true. You know, what the Democrats, what the liberals like Joy Reid, the mainstream media, Acosta, the Squad, all the Democrats today, this is what their attitude is. If you disagree with them, you're Hitler. Right? You're Hitler. Everyone I don't like is Hitler, is the meme that Mark Dice was talking about. Everyone I disagree with is Hitler. That's their tone. That's their attitude. And, yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to take this break, so we'll be back on time. I went long in the first segment. My apologies, people. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Back right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida.
Steve
from
Kane
Palm
Show.
Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, 34 minutes after the hour. And don't forget, Debbie from I Will Advisors, no matter where you are in Florida, Debbie can help you with your Medicare during open enrollment, from the Panhandle to Key West, everywhere in between. And I don't know how many of you have noticed this. Have you noticed how many of our sponsors now are statewide and in multiple states? The Steve Kane Show is growing by leaps and bounds. And that is in large part because of you guys out there. Steve and I have a little bit to do with it. We work pretty hard on the show, but you guys got a lot to do with it, so welcome. But those of you that are Medicare recipients, no matter where you are in Florida, Debbie and her team at I Will Advisors can help you with your Medicare during this open enrollment period. So give her a call. If you're an overnight listener, call and leave a message. They'll call you back during business hours. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Richie the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yeah, good morning. I'm thinking about this $450,000. What was the max? Was $8 billion per family?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not positive, but here's the deal. Yesterday, what went on, and I appreciate what you did, by the way, with Greg, too. You're worried about racism in this country. Think about this. Now, you know how old I am, and I grew up with all the racism in this country. This has to do with what we're talking about, by the way. And you see black families that have been living in poverty for my whole life, and neighborhoods that...
Richie, you spent your whole career basically being a servant driver to African Americans on the county buses in Broward County. You were like driving Miss Daisy in reverse, but a whole bunch of Miss Daisies, and Mr. Daisies too.
They're waiting for their small checks so they could survive, okay? And how do you think they feel? And they've wanted reparations since I've been a little kid for what went on in this country. And truth, they were treated terribly, and yet they have to sit by and watch people coming into this country illegally that aren't Americans get millions of dollars.
Well, first off, all this talk of reparations is just stupid. 80% of the American population are descendants of immigrants who came here after the Civil War. So those people have no connection to it. And second, the greatest benefactors of slavery in America today are African Americans because they're here in the greatest country in the world. So I don't know what all this reparations talk has ever been about other than just people want free money.
But think about how they feel seeing people coming in here illegally getting paid off by the government who has no right to do that. That's our money. That's our taxpayer money. And the reason we vote for a president is he's a representative of us. He's a servant to the people. That's what he's not the leader. He's not a dictator. Although it seems like this administration, they're total dictators. I mean, it's out of...
Well, this thing I was talking about, though, who's running America, that for the White House press spokesperson to come out and correct the President of the United States, which is what happened yesterday, so far as I know, that was a historic moment that I've never seen before, certainly not at that level. Who's running America?
We've known this, Brian. That we've known. I mean, but the press is not reporting it to anybody. They still try to.
Well, who do you think? Who do you think is running the country?
Who do I think's running the country? Soros.
Really?
Take a look. If you take a look at almost every organization involved that infiltrated the United States, including politicians, he comes up somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder. Everybody always says George Soros, and I just wonder if he's kind of like Kaiser Sose, if you get the reference. Like a boogeyman. That's such an easy thing to say. Is it really? I mean, is he on the phone to people telling them what to do? I don't know.
His organizations, his money, controls everything. See, it's the money. Follow the money. It always comes down to that. You know that.
Oh yeah.
I personally.
Does anyone know what Joe Manchin, Democrat, right? Before he was in the Senate, does anyone know what he did for a living? Do you know? Yeah, Joe Manchin.
He was a mayor.
A mayor of what kind of city? A big city, or like a Mayor Pete city, like Tamarack? What was he mayor of?
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, the reason I ask is, hey, listen, I'm standing with Joe Manchin. He's stopping Biden right now. But these lunatic snowflakes went after him, and he was driving. He got into his car, and it was a Maserati. A Maserati, I think, costs more than my house. I don't know. What's a Maserati going for these days? I'm just wondering how a public servant affords a Maserati.
130,000, 140,000.
Oh, right. Richie probably has one. 130,000.
No, but
if you added up my car, my wife's car, and my daughter's car, it wouldn't be anywhere near that. I mean, how does a public servant afford a $130,000 car? And his is totally loaded. So is that a base price Maserati, $130K?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's about a base.
Okay, I don't think Manchin's driving the base model. I don't know. So how does a public servant afford a car the base model is $130,000?
You brought up the fact that when you get all that money, you blow it, and this isn't a good idea. Well, let me ask you a question. The government is that a good idea for the government to blow all our money? I mean, come on already. We're paying taxes. You work your behind off. You go to the supermarket, you get the first time I saw you got these public empty shelves all over the place. And the prices are crazy. And people are shaking their heads walking down the aisles.
Yeah.
Giving away $450 million?
Yeah. Yeah. 450,000. And you know as well as I do, if you listen, if you travel there are parts of Florida where illegal Mexicans live, and I spent some years in the 80s growing up around around Lake Okeechobee where the sugarcane fields are, a lot of illegals there, and they are very impoverished people who live they have like 30 families who live in barracks, like you probably went to boot camp in before you went off to Nam.
Hate the stereotype. They drink when they get off like fish because they have nothing else to.
Yeah, and you're talking about the poorest of the poor. You're talking about people that really are not even free. You give them $450,000 each, they're going to be killing each other. It'll be a bloodbath, and I mean literally, it's a terrible idea. You give them $450 each, you would have problems.
It's our money. What the hell are they doing with our money?
And how does an undocumented person have a bank account to even deposit it in? They'll be keeping it under their mattresses. You would see a crime wave in these communities like you've never seen before. It would make Chicago look like Mayberry.
Yeah, you remember the Beverly Hillbillies? You think it will be like that?
White trash with money, the Beverly Hillbillies.
Have a good morning,
all right,
my friend.
All right. I love the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, man. I was always a fan of that show growing up. Oh, righty, I tell you. It's a scary world we're in. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call, 888-465-2631. Well, let me play. I was going to play. This is Manchin getting into his Maserati, and he's being surrounded by skinny pants wearing snowflakes who are trying to pressure him into changing and supporting this bill.
We want to live! We want to live!
We want to live is what they're chanting.
We want to live! 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 We want to live!
Okay, now what they're suggesting here is unless the Green New Deal, which is a part of this, is passed, they're not going to live. You know, you got to ask, do these snowflakes believe that? How many of them flew to Washington to harass him, or wherever he was, by the way? Oh my goodness. You know, when I was a kid growing up, and I would see like all those films of the Vietnam War protest era, I thought I missed out on something. And all those things of the civil rights movement, I thought I like missed out on something. I thought like an era when you had like these Vietnam War protests seemed so cool, and I wish I was there, and I wish I could have been a part of something like that. It seems like a fun time. And now that we're living through it, it's terrible. This is worse than the 60s. And the reason it's worse than the 60s is because now those Vietnam War protesters, they're in government. They're, you know, like the Attorney General and others. They're in government. During the Vietnam War protest, you had patriotic Americans of that, you know, those, even the Democrats were Roosevelt Democrats mostly. You know, Jane Fonda and those lunatics weren't running the government. Grown-ups were running the government. Now we have these lunatics and children running everything. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour, come back with more calls, more topics. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible
Steve Kane Show.
to take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as
Hey,
we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Hi folks, Dr. Montez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All righty, 47 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. We are back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Let's take some more calls. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, it's Joe in North Carolina.
Joe in North Carolina. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing fine. I heard something interesting the other day on OAN. I mean, I often knew that Soros was a, weirdo, but the Jeff Bezos of the rest of the world, the owner of Alibaba, I forget his name, but he's multi-billionaire. He contributes like $1.5 billion to Soros' organization. And guess where he lives? China.
Oh, I thought that was illegal. So he's funneling money to politicians?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The dude's name, he's the owner of Alibaba. forget, he's like a multi-billionaire, one of the richest guys in the world.
Well, you know, the Democrats have been taking money from China since at least the Clinton era. The Clintons were taking money from China in their campaign. This was part of all the investigations. There was a guy, I should read up on this because it's coming back home, remember Charlie Tree was the name. It's been we're talking 35 years, so I got to go back and refresh my mind on all of that. But the Clintons were taking money from China, and now it's just been a snowball effect. And I believe that the reason that the Chinese now have manned space flights and missiles and everything are because the Clintons gave the Chinese, or excuse me, sold to the Chinese guided missile technology of the United States. You got like the Rosenbergs and the Clintons, and now they're all on board with China. Yeah.
Let's just hope that well, who knows?
Well, are you talking about John Durham?
Yeah.
Okay, now John Durham arrested a Russian. It was in the news yesterday, and I talked about this a lot on my podcast last night. By the way, thanks for the call, North Carolina. John Durham arrested a Russian who was involved in putting together the Steele dossier. Now, Jack Posobiec tweeted, I saw this morning, Jack Posobiec, who used to be at One American News, and now what is he, at Human Events now? I don't know. But Jack Posobiec is typically pretty spot on with almost everything he talks about. And Jack Posobiec said that John Durham has wrapped up his investigation and to expect more of these arrests. I don't think Durham's going to arrest anyone big. You know, this arrest yesterday with John Durham arresting this Russian who was, they call him a subsource involved in the fake Russian dossier. The Russian dossier, this noise, I'm opening up some Clorox wipes to clean off the phone cord that I'm looking at, which is just so filthy. It's like I don't know, are smokers coughing on my phone cord here? It's like, ugh. I'll show you guys on YouTube during the break. It's pretty bad. This dossier, see, this fake Steele dossier was commissioned by the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign. They put together this fake dossier, and what the dossier said, I'm going to tell you what it said because it's so absurd. With this Steele, they never tell you what it says because it's so stupid, it's so ridiculous. You would laugh. The Steele dossier that they are always talking about, this is what it said. President Trump visited Moscow for the Miss Universe pageant. While he was there, he stayed in the same hotel room that Barack Obama stayed in when he was president and visited Moscow. And that Donald Trump hired 2 Russian prostitutes who urinated while naked, completely naked, on the bed while he was pleasuring himself, watching. And Putin has a video of this, and Putin is using that to blackmail Donald Trump. That's what the dossier says. Isn't that ridiculous? And you know it's fake because that's just not how Donald Trump is. But also the urination thing is a Russian thing. You know, I've studied a lot about the Second World War. I've read a lot of books about Hitler and Russia and that aspect of the war. And Russians, when they have propaganda campaigns to discredit people, there's always things about urination. I remember reading, there was a book that I read about 20 years ago that was a book, an author had obtained transcripts of interrogations that were done by the Soviets of high-ranking Germans that they had captured at the end of the war. And there was a lot in those things about Hitler having prostitutes urinate on this, on him, on that. You know, this urination thing is a big thing with the Russians. I don't know why, but it's ridiculous. But anyway, they use that absurd dossier to go to a federal judge in the FISA court, which is through the Patriot Act, to get surveillance on Trump Tower, which is where Donald Trump and his family lived and his campaign headquarters were. And if you remember, President Trump, he came out and said, Obama's spying on me. And the press laughed, and now we know that he was. And they're not going to arrest any of the big name players. They're going to arrest a bunch of people we never heard of before, like this Russian guy that they picked up yesterday that was in the news. Why isn't Hillary Clinton's campaign people being arrested? And I'm talking about the top people that paid for this, or top DNC people who paid for this. That's not going to happen. Durham, it's a joke. It's a comic book. I lost faith in that guy a long time ago. You know, now what they're doing is just symbolic to make us feel like they did something. Arresting some Russian guy yesterday. And this guy is Russian. So that means the DNC and the Hillary campaign were colluding with a Russian. It's absurd. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. My name is Rudy Roman. I'm calling from here, Florida, 954.
I don't need your number. I don't need your number. Just you're from Florida. You're on the radio. Give out your number. You're in Broward County. I know, because you gave out the area code.
You know, I want to thank you because I've been here in Florida for 5 months. I live in New York.
Look at this phone call.
1962, and I agree with you in everything you're saying.
Filthy.
I am an immigrant myself, but I came here legally. And if anyone wants to come to this country, have to go through the procedures legally.
What country are you from originally?
Oh, yeah, I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, the Dominican Republic. Okay.
Now, like I said, I am an immigrant, but I hate people coming through the border just like that. I'm a taxpayer. I've been here since I was 15 years old. I went to school. I pay my taxes. And these people coming here illegally, you know, I'm a human person, but I hate these people. And I blame channel Univision and Telemundo, which is Spanish channel. They're promoting people to come here illegally, and that's not right.
What do you mean that you watch Spanish television, Telemundo? You say they're recruiting people to come here illegally? What do you mean? How do they do that?
They stimulate every morning. If you put on the channel, they want people to come illegally because they're human. They work for this country. Not everybody works for this country.
Wow.
Yeah, but you gotta stay. You know, there's a newspaper man called, which is Spanish. You know that Trump telling him go back to Univision.
Oh yeah. What is that? The little skinny guy. He swam across the river once. What is his name?
That guy that came here illegally. He said that himself. But he will go back to Mexico, and I blame Mexico for letting Central America come into their country. And nevertheless, they say that the country...
Not for the radio. We got to have a cord phone for the radio.
And they can do whatever they want to do with their country.
Can't use cordless on the radio.
People from Central America to come here.
Yeah.
You're wrong. So they should stay in Mexico. In Mexico, let them go through their country.
Well, I know, you know, on our cruises, we go to Mexico. Sometimes on our next one, we're not going to Mexico. We're going to Aruba, Curacao, Jamaica, and everything. But I've been to Mexico many times with our listeners, and we are all required to have our passports. They won't even let us get on the ship without our passports. Why do I need a passport to go to Mexico to have a couple beers for a couple hours, and they're coming over here with no documents and getting paid $450,000?
Yeah, and promoted by the Mexican government, you know, and that is wrong. If Mexicans don't want them there, they have to allow them to come to Mexico, to come to the United States. You know, I am an immigrant myself. I came here legally. I have to show X-ray on my chest that I didn't have any kind of disease. And these people coming through here, and you know who's going to pay for that.
Yeah, well, you know what they do. You know, I hear a lot of immigrants talk like you do. They're cutting the line, and no one gets more pissed off than when someone tries to cut you in line.
Come on. You know, I'm retired. My Social Security is going to be cut down or never increased because they have to take money from me, from you, from any taxpayer.
Yeah, Jorge Ramos is the name of the guy you're trying to think of. No, yeah, he's a winner. Yeah, he's a U.S. citizen, Jorge Ramos. He became a U.S. citizen. He rejected his own country of Mexico.
He came here illegally.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
And then he became a citizen, whatever. And then Mexico and other Mexicans and Univision promoted them to come here, and they want the children, you know, they're using the children to get here, so you can feel pity for the children. And I'm sorry for the children, you don't know. I'm sorry for the children. How can you use your children to come through here?
Yeah, I agree. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. And welcome to the show. New listener. Thank you. All right, take care. Great immigrant from the Dominican Republic. We love immigrants. Our First Lady, Melania Trump, is an immigrant. Legal immigrant. Oh, man, she's a great American success story, too, Melania. She came here to America with nothing but her incredible looks. She's a self-made multimillionaire before she met President Trump. And she speaks 5 languages. And then you got Joe Biden going around implying that she's a medical doctor when she got her doctorate of education at a college named after her husband. Oh, my goodness. All right, listen, we're coming up on the top of the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. And if you haven't guessed it, this is the most pro-Donald Trump radio station on the planet Earth. You will never hear me disagree with President Trump. I say this all the time. People give me a hard time about, oh, you can't do that. You'll have no credibility. Why should I disagree with President Trump on anything? He's got everybody else doing that. Not that he's done anything that I would disagree with. I think he's as perfect as a human can be. Only one man was completely perfect, Jesus, but Donald Trump is the most perfect person we got, and he is right on the money on everything that he says and everything that he does. And certainly, when he has his second term in 2024 and becomes not just our 45th president, but also the 47th president of the United States, oh man, you know what I'm going to do when President Trump is inaugurated for his second term? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back up to Disney World. I'm going to go back up to Disney World to the Hall of Presidents and enjoy when they have to move President Trump's robot back to the front. You know? And I'll tell you, I made a YouTube video of this a couple months back. You can see it on my channel. I went up to the Hall of Presidents just to see where they put Trump now that they got Biden there. And it's very interesting what the Disney Imagineers did. I was expecting them to put President Trump way back in the corner where you couldn't see him. He's right behind Biden. Right over Biden's right shoulder. I was surprised. I guess the Disney Imagineers are lazy. They don't want to have to walk too far when they replace the robot. But I can tell by the positioning, that's not by accident, right? Because there's other recent presidents, and they're off in the corners. You can't even see them. But Trump, they kept close. I thought that was amazing. Anyway, let's take our break for the top of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be back right after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also
Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley. Thank you so much, Wesley. Good morning, Brian. Thanks to the Bidens, it's the Chi-Coms that now run our government. No doubt about it, Wesley. No doubt about it.
Promo code KANE at checkout. 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified.
Oh man, I got a busy day today. My day starts at 9 a.m. I've got so much I've got to do today. In fact, before noon. I don't even know how I'm going to get it all done. I've been really nervous. All week I've been like, oh my gosh, Friday is going to be a crazy day. I think I got to get a new phone cord. This phone cord they have on my phone is so dirty. We have to use a standard old landline for the radio station, and the last phone cord, which looked fine, had a short in it. So they replaced it, and I guess the only phone they could find was this very bad-looking thing. Ugh.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare.
Yeah, I'm going to replace it, Jacqueline. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can. Maybe I'll switch it off another phone in the building if I can find one, or I'll buy one over the weekend. Because that phone cord's disgusting. I keep the there's a cleaning crew that comes in a few times a week and cleans, but I use wipes to clean off the board and everything all the time. I like to have the radio station clean myself. A lot of guys don't. Radio stations are some of the dirtiest, dustiest places. Well, I just wasn't crazy about putting it up to my face during the show. Like look at this. Look at this. That's my phone cord they put on here. Look at that. Looks like a cigar smoker put it down in his lungs and pulled it out. Hey guys, welcome back. 4 minutes after 7. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. If you've just tuned in, you've missed a lot. I'll take a call or two. I've got some other issues to bring up as well that I have not addressed yet, and then I'll recap what I started with, too, if there's time. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Conservative Doug. Good morning.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Okay, great. They say, what a difference did they make? I spoke at the Broward County School Board meeting.
Wayne, is that Wayne the Sane or Wayne the Sign? $10 super chat, thank you. Here, buy a new black phone cord. I will. Everyone thank Wayne. Thank you, Wayne.
An attitude all of a sudden. Only 2 people were wearing a mask. Nobody had to wear a mask in the building. And we got up and talked again because we were worried that, in Broward County, high school kids don't have to wear a mask, but the middle school and elementary have to wear a mask still. So we were worried they were going to try to put back the mask. Instead, long story short, they took the mask away for everybody.
Yeah, I don't even own one anymore. I don't even own one. I was going to keep a mask just as like my mother-in-law was, she's a home health care nurse. And during the pandemic, she took the year off work because, she's older. She didn't want to be around sick people. You know what I mean? And all of that, and she's to keep busy. She was like made us masks, and she made me this really cool Star Wars mask. And what she did was she had nice cloth, and they were 2 pieces of cloth, and in between she'd put a fabric softener, and it smelled good. It was so comfortable, and I wanted to keep that Star Wars mask, just like little time capsule thing at home to remember 2020 with. And my wife said no, and she threw out all our masks. She's like, I don't want to remember any of that. There's no mementos of that. So I don't even own a mask anymore.
But I had one in my pocket
Well, my daughter came back from California on Monday. She was out in California, and of course they got to wear masks on the planes and everything. And I walk into the airport, they got signs up all over the place that you got to wear a mask. And I walked in to meet her at the baggage return. I didn't have a mask, and I was waiting to be harassed. No one said anything to me though. It was nice. I felt free. It's like the brawl burners of the 70s, the women's libbers.
Yeah,
some people may, Doug here, we call him conservative Doug, and a lot of people may think that's just because he's a conservative guy named Doug. That's not the case. We used to have this guy who was a complete lunatic, Angry Doug, who used to call the show, and this guy, I don't remember what the final straw was with him, but he used to call us all the time. He was a very normal caller, and he told us that he was a charter boat captain somewhere here in South Florida. And then someone that Steve and I are both friends with, who many of you in the listening audience know who they are. They're a South Florida celebrity. I'm not going to tell you their name, though, because I don't want to get them on Doug's list. But they got served some papers by a process server, and it was Doug. And they recognized his voice. We found out he wasn't a charter boat captain, but a process server. And he just had a meltdown. He was never the same. He was always angry. And we actually, years ago, I don't think I've ever told this story on the air. We ran in, this was many years ago. There was, Calvary Chapel, Fort Lauderdale, where Bob Coy was pastor of, big evangelical church here in South Florida. At the time, it may have been the largest church. They had a church newspaper that they published that was in all the churches in Florida called The Good News. And Steve and I ran for quite a while, full-page ads in the Good News, advertising the radio show. And Doug, Angry Doug, not this guy Doug, Angry Doug, went to the newspaper unannounced, demanded to speak with the publisher of the newspaper, and demanded that they pull our ad out of the Christian newspaper. I mean, this guy's a complete lunatic. And yeah, I know. And so anyway, he was a nutty caller. I don't remember what happened that ended with his discontinuation of participation here, but we always called this guy Conservative Doug, so people didn't think that he was like Angry Doug in a good mood.
Well, he's the one who got me the call. I remember the first day I ever called, I said, I have to clear the name of Doug because this guy's a nut. And I've been calling ever since. Great show.
Yeah, and those of you out there that think about the scandals of Bob Coy, and certainly there was some problems there. We're all sinners, but Bob Coy brought Steve to Jesus. So actually, my wife and I took Steve to church for the first time. We were talking the other day how Steve Kane became a Christian years ago, and my wife and I used to go to Calvary Chapel in Fort Lauderdale, and we took Steve to church the first time when he was thinking about becoming a Christian. And I remember Steve, he was like sweating. He was sweating like I've never seen a man sweat before. He was so nervous. But Bob Coy brought Steve to Jesus. So, that's a good thing. Are you a Christian, Doug? I wonder, are you a Christian?
I'm a Catholic, yeah.
Oh, you're Catholic? Okay, good. You're practicing Catholic and all that? You believe and everything? You accept Jesus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I talked about this on my podcast, but I have not talked about it on the radio. I've been doing this for a few months. My wife, I've never been a reader of the Bible. And my wife has always given me a hard time about this. And she turned me on to an app called Bible Is, which is a completely free app that's available in all the app stores, no matter what device you have. It's called Bible Is, and they have different programs in it, but they read the Bible to you as you read along with actors playing all the different Bible figures. And every morning at 5 a.m. before I read the house, I've been doing this for months, I do my Bible study every morning. Right now, I did the New Testament. I did the Gospels in 40 days, and now I'm doing it a month early, but I'm doing the story of Jesus for Christmas. And I do my Bible read. I finish my show prep, get everything done, and I sit down in the living room at 5-ish every day and do my Bible study on the Bible Is app. That's why sometimes I cut it close in the mornings. In the last few, sometimes you'll say, oh, you're late, or I'm cutting it close. It's because I'm doing my Bible study at home. And I'll tell you something. For the first time in my life, I've been doing Bible readings, and my life has been better than ever. It's called Bible Is. Bible Is. It's completely free. in whatever app store you have, and it's incredible. They read, I've tried to read the Bible. I could never get into it. Now, I read along, but they have actors that do everything, even like the demons when Satan's talking, and they even have sound effects in the background. It brings the Bible to life, but it's very good. Bible is the name of the app.
For sure.
Yeah.
One thing I'd just like to mention, if I could, in another time, this Fauci character. One American News had a whole...
What character? Oh, Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci had a story on Fauci, how remdesivir, he went out and...
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff, Doug, because I let people decide on their own what they do. All right, we're not going to give out medical advice or opinions on things. I'm gonna leave that up to people in the audience to decide. All right, let me take another call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name?
Good morning, yeah. I tried to get a Tucker thing. I got two separate things, but I could not get the thing to come up.
Oh, you're trying to get Patriot Purge for... okay. Tucker Carlson, I was watching Tucker Carlson the other night on his show, and I heard him say that he's offering Patriot Purge for free on his website. And I've been hearing from, and I saw that it's listed there, but I've been hearing from people that they can't watch it for free. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know it's worth subscribing if it's just for 1 month to the Fox Nation app to see it. I mean, I don't get any royalties if people pay for the Fox app, okay? The Fox that for this. I don't want you. We're not doing spots for them. I'm just telling you. What is it? $5 for a month, and then you cancel it. After the first month, it's the Fox Nation app that Fox is always plugging. It's worth paying. I think it's just $5 a month. They may even have some special you could get. I don't know, but it's worth the $5 to see Patriot Purge. I really think people need to see it.
Okay. By the way, your sound is like underwater.
What, on the radio? Oh, you mean on the phone or on the radio?
I've got the TuneIn app, which sucks, by the way.
The TuneIn app sucks? Well, I listen on iHeartRadio. Hold on, let me turn on the radio.
A month, and then you cancel it.
No, it sounds fine on the radio. I just heard myself on the radio behind me. So, it could be your device. It could be your device.
About the new phone, but
oh, your new phone?
It just connects all the time.
You're having all kinds of problems. You can't find Patriot Purge. You can't hear me. You got all kinds of. You're not very technical, but that's okay. That's okay. You can always listen another way.
Oh, I don't get to that.
Oh, where are you? Miramar. Oh, yeah, you're at the southern end of the signal in Miramar. Okay, well, try the iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio. WWNN. You'll hear us in stereophonic sound. I listen on iHeartRadio all the time. Yeah. All right, take care. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Once. Yes. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Melissa from Virginia.
Hey, Virginia, what's up?
I just wanted to tell you that George Soros has donated $18 billion to restore social justice in America.
Whatever that, I mean, what does, one thing with Soros, this was like 5 or 10 years ago when it came out that he was supporting like local prosecutors running for office, district attorneys and things like that. And he has so much control over the American system of government. It's frightening. And he's a very bad person. Everybody knows what he did in the Second World War. He turned Jews into the Nazis. And I've heard him talk about it, and he's not even ashamed. Like he was a kid. He was like 14 or something. And I understand how terrifying that could be for a 14-year-old kid in Europe, but I didn't hear any regret. He wasn't like, I was scared and they were killing people and I'm sorry I did it. I'm ashamed I did it, but I was a little boy and I was scared. Nothing like that. He's just like, I did it, It's just strange.
Well, you know, in the book of Revelations, it mentions that they will say that they're Jews, but they're not really Jews.
Well, I know this. Okay, I have not gotten to the book of Revelations yet in my Bible Is app, but I find it. I think I can say with confidence that there's no reference to George Soros in the Bible at all. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Ian with Cruise and Travel.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, caught me off guard. Ian, our travel agent from Cruise and Travel Depot, who organizes all of our Steve Kane cruises. And Ian, you gave me some news the other day that I did not realize, that our Steve Kane Trump 2022 MAGA cruise that leaves January 21st. We're going to Aruba, Jamaica, Bonaire, Curacao. This is our 5th cruise? Our 5th Steve Kane cruise. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and we did a good job shoring up all of our events. These are going to be really fun.
Well, that we're at the point now. Okay, we had a big change on our cruise. We were going to. We have 4 stops, right? Curacao, Bonaire, Aruba, and our 4th stop was going to be the Cayman Islands, and that's been changed. We're not going to Grand Cayman, which is where we went on our last cruise. One of our stops. We're going to Jamaica, and Ian is putting together our activities and shore excursions. That's what he's referencing here.
Absolutely. Fall Jamaica, and the stops there, the shore excursions there are really good. Taking a little longer than usual because some of these islands are still getting back into motion from COVID, but the Dunn River Falls with the beach clubs and the rum tasting is looking good.
Well, any place where there's alcohol, I'm there. Even though drinks are included on the cruise, and I don't drink except on the cruises, and I drink too much on the cruises. I will be the first to, especially the first night, because drinks are included, so you can drink as much as you can swallow. I mean, it's a bottomless cup of top shelf alcohol.
Yeah, it sure is. We'll start the cruise at the Martini Bar and end it there, I think.
Yeah, like I'm a tequila guy. I love tequila. And if I go to a bar here, I'm not drinking top shelf, but I always drink like the most expensive tequila they got on the ship because it's free. Patron. What is it? Patron? What is the top shelf tequila? Patron,
and you got to try the Don Julio Añejo.
Yeah, Don Julio and Patron. I that's basically all I drink on the cruise. I would never drink that at home because it's too expensive, but it's included on the cruises, so I'm drinking Patron not like water.
We'll make sure that they serve it at the Steve Kane cocktail club.
If they don't, I'll bring it from another bar. Yeah, but no, in Jamaica we're going to. I'm so excited about Jamaica. I've never been to Jamaica. In fact, I've never been to any of these destinations. And we're going to Jamaica, and when we go there, we're taking a group tour with our group to those very famous, they're called the Dunn Falls, but they're the very famous waterfalls that are in every movie and TV show ever filmed in Jamaica. And it's very beautiful, and what you do is you climb up the waterfall, and then you come back down, and it's very beautiful, and then when we get to the bottom, we're going to have rum tasting going on after we come down from the waterfall, not before. I won't be able to make it if we do it before. And we're also planning a lot of shipboard activities so that our days at sea, we have stuff to do together throughout the day, as well as having to get dinner together every night with the best seats in the dining room. Every table is a window seat. And we're going to go to the shows together as a group. And you just came back from a cruise on Celebrity, and you were telling me how few people are on the ships these days. It's basically we have our own private ship on this cruise in January.
It was amazing, and they stepped up their game, and Celebrity was an excellent product before. The show that I sat for was called Crystallized. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, now if you've been on our cruises before, you know it is an incredible time. Steve is bringing a mystery lady friend with him who will be revealed when he's on the ship. I'm coming with my daughter, of course. If you would like to join us, give Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot a call. He'll give you all the pricing. We've got incredible deals. And, of course, the pricing varies based on what what type of cabin you have. Now, I got a balcony room, right, Ian?
You've got a balcony room.
That's right. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like being out in the ocean, going to bed at night with my door open, hearing the sounds of the ocean as we're cruising to our next destination. I remember on our first cruise, I went out on the balcony in the morning to relax and have a cup of coffee, and I didn't know Richie was next to me, and it was Brian. It was Richie, the bus driver, was next to me out on his balcony, chewing my ear off like he does here on the phone. But it's a great time. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. Join us. You're all invited, except Liberal Al the John. You will have a great time. Here's his number, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, and, of course, our incredible group of listeners on our Steve Kane Trump 2022 MAGA Cruise. It's 9 days. We leave on a Friday, return the following Sunday. We got a great deal on this because, Ian, we set this up at the height of the pandemic when they were basically giving away cruise ship cabins. So you'll never have a cruise like this at this price, whatever cabin you choose. All right, Ian, have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. All right, take care. All right, to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Sandra from Boca.
All right, Sandra, what's up?
No, I just downloaded that app just now on my phone.
Oh, the Bible Is app? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like, I've talked about it on my podcast. I haven't brought it up on the radio because I don't want to be like I'm bragging about reading the Bible, but my life has been going a lot better in, I don't know how long it's been now, a couple of months since I've been doing this.
It's just that I have a desk job and it's very busy and I would love to read scripture, but it's just not possible. So now that I have the app, I can just listen to it on my phone while I'm working, and it's great.
Well, I read a lot. Believe it or not, I do read a lot, and I do sometimes books on tape. Like if I'm driving up to Orlando and I got 6 hours in the car up and back, But I've tried for 20 years to read the Bible, and when I read it myself, I just don't get a lot out of it when I'm reading it myself. Sometimes I feel like I've got a reading disability when I'm reading the Bible. I feel stupid.
The New Living Translation?
Everything. I got the Good News Bible, which is written at the level of a newspaper, the Good News Bible. And I don't get as much out of it as I think I could. And since I got this Bible Is app, I do read along, but where they have the actors acting everything out. I love the guys that play Satan. The voices they use sounds like some of our trolls. But I'm learning, and I'm getting more out of the Bible than I've ever gotten before.
Curious, and I'm just asking, have you gotten to Paul's life yet, the Apostle Paul?
All I've done so far are the Gospels, and now they've got a month, the story of Jesus for Christmas, that you're supposed to do in December, I guess, but I started it November 1st. Yeah, so I'm doing that one. I'm doing that one this month, and my wife wants me to do Acts next.
You get to Paul's life, really, really transforming.
Yeah.
Really, really transforming, and it's really crazy because at the point in his life where he was finally put to death, Nero, the emperor, killed himself 3 months later.
Oh, yeah, no spoilers. No, I'm kidding. No, it's a good thing. We used to do more on this when Steve first became a Christian. We used to do a lot more talking about the church and the Bible and everything. We've gotten away from that over the years. But when Steve became a Christian, we lost sponsors over it. We lost a couple of big ones. Yeah, I'm not going to say because he became a Christian. They said he was no longer a Jew. And if Steve Kane has done some strange things on the air over the years, okay? Some very strange things on the air, and has promoted strange things. And this, of course, was many years ago. Steve's not going to be here with us today, but he told me he's listening, and I always assume whatever I say, everybody's listening. You know what I mean? It's on the radio. They're going to find out. Steve used to do spots on the air for swingers clubs. That may come as a shock to a lot of people. Steve used to be a liberal and used to do a spot for a swingers club and other controversial things. No one ever accused him of not being a Jew when he was doing spots for a swingers club. But when he became a Christian, all of a sudden people were accusing him of not being a Jew. It's a very strange thing. And there was one person in particular who shocked the hell out of me over it. I thought they were joking when they were angry. They were angry physically angry at Steve for becoming a Christian. But it changed his life.
I was just going to say, I'm sure that Steve's life has been transformed.
Yeah.
Once you're a Christian, there's no going back.
Well, I'll tell you this, okay? Christianity is Judaism. And all of us who are Christian are also, we're Jews. Christians are Jews. I mean, we call it Christianity, but it's Judaism. We're Jews.
Yes.
I mean, Rabbi David may disagree with that if he calls me, but it's and Steve is not a Jews for Jesus. That's a different thing. He's a regular Christian guy who is also a Jew.
Well, I'm happy for him because I'm sure his life has been transformed by it.
Oh yeah, and Steve sent his youngest kids went to Christian school at Calvary Chapel in Fort Lauderdale. He sent his kids to Christian school after that and everything else. Yeah. Sure, yeah. We just don't talk about it too much anymore. I was telling Steve the other day, because I referenced it the other day on the air, and I got a lot of feedback from listeners who were shocked to find all this out. And I said, Steve, we haven't talked about this stuff for so long. We have so many new listeners, they don't know our backstories. So sometimes maybe it's okay to talk about ourselves a little bit and get off the issues.
But listen, as you said, you've mentioned it more than once. The world is a different place. The world has changed. There's a lot of evil in the world now that seems to have been...
Well, there's always going to be that.
Well, I know, but it's different from when we and you were kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you go to the grocery store without getting yourself killed.
Well, the problem... I was talking about this earlier. The problem is, I talked about this in the first hour, but I'll say it again because I think it's a good analogy. During the Vietnam War protest era, there was a lot of craziness that was going on. But those were kids, maybe college-age kids. Those are mostly kids. The Democrats that were running the government were the World War II generation or even people before that generation. So they were like responsible people even in the Democrat Party that were running things. Now those lunatics from the Vietnam War era, they're the Attorney General. They're a federal judge. Right? You understand what I mean? Those crazy radical lunatics are now running the government of the United States, and they've got these children, like the squad who are babies. They are so mentally AOC, and I don't say this to attack. This is just an observation. AOC has the mind of a 14-year-old girl, and I was talking about Mark Dice. Mark Dice, very smart guy. He said the Democrats believe this. Everyone they don't like and everyone who disagrees with them is Hitler. And that's dangerous. That's exactly their mindset. If you don't, like Joy Reid, if you don't agree with her, you're Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And that, listen, we used to have, even like in the 80s and 90s, there were always Republicans and Democrats battling one another. And Democrats were very nasty to President Reagan and President Bush 1 and 2. But we still had like a common value system. We just disagreed. We disagreed on a handful of issues, abortion and things like this, taxes, but we still had a common American culture that we agree. And now what the left are, they're not even our culture anymore. It's like another culture, not the American culture.
Like a bunch of dogs that have been released on a leash. That's kind of how I can...
It's Lord of the Flies is running the country. It's immature, lunatic children.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel like it, just keep talking about it once in a while because it really made a difference today, me downloading that app.
Oh yeah, Bible is. It's completely free, and everyone, if you're interested in reading the Bible, it's got me reading the Bible. And today I was a little tied up at home this morning. I was like busy, doing a lot of stuff, at home before I came, And I'm like, I'll do it late, and I didn't. So I said I'm going to do it, and I'm glad I did. I had plenty of time. It's only mostly, it's usually 10 minutes, but it's no more than like 15 minutes a day. When I do the lessons.
Tell the yard God is near.
That's right. Hey, take care. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers at Mike Lindell. He's right. These are the
Steve Kane Show.
Slippers I've ever worn, and you can get them for 40%
Hey,
off.
hold on.
MyPillow.com
Hey, hold on.
With the promo code Kane.
Steve Kane Show.
One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about.
Hold on. Hold on.
My slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined ones.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that, and I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the.
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely. My wife loves it.
Oh man, I know they're all great. Yeah, I know. By the way, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of
Faith, $10 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Faith. MyPillow mattress topper has been my best investment. Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Faith. I know that MyPillow mattress topper will change your life. I got a story of what they're trying to do to Mike Lindell. I'm going to talk about it soon, before the top of the hour. Oh, man. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve is off today. He'll be back on Monday. Let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Hank from Hollywood.
Hank, how you doing? Hollywood, Florida, not California, right?
No way, Hollywood, Florida.
That's right.
How you doing this morning?
Okay.
How you doing? Okay, I know it's usually open phones light on Friday, so I just wanted to touch on a couple things if I can. First of all, with Mannequin 2, Greg 2, some days when I'm listening, I honestly feel like the other day he was arguing about something, and I was like, what is Greg's point? I think he calls you on the days when he's being real obstinate. You should maybe ask him, hey, Greg, do you have court today? Because I think he's practicing arguing on you before he gets into...
No, he's not that kind of lawyer. He's not obviously, by the conversation yesterday where he put me on the witness stand, he's not a courtroom lawyer.
Right, okay. That's not what I wanted to call.
He's not.
A couple things. One, you set off a light bulb in my head the other day when you were talking, it was more than another day ago, when you were talking about the mandate in the military and how, maybe a third of the military might have to come into port state, with the troops, with the ships. Well, that got me thinking. You also said, correctly, that Joe Biden sold out Afghanistan to China as probably a campaign promise for all the lithium.
We found, I did not know this till the fall of Afghanistan, but we did a geological survey when we took it over. They have the largest lithium deposits on the planet in Afghanistan. Their number one export was poppy before, heroin. And that's what you need for the electric car batteries. And I believe China was sold by Joe Biden, Afghanistan, for that lithium. Absolutely.
Correct. Now, with the military, this is where the light bulb went off. You said, what's going to happen to our sailors? What happens if, they have to pull into port? And that got me thinking, well, if Brian thinks selling out Afghanistan was bad, wait till the military has to go in the port, and next falls Taiwan.
Well, the whole world would collapse. This is I know this is a controversial statement, but, there's a Patriot Purge, the title of his documentary, is going on in many different levels. I believe that the mandates are being used to purge conservatives out of the police forces of America as well as the military. And all you're going to have left behind are social justice warriors.
Right, and Andrea was absolutely correct. Hello, National Police Force. Hello, Gestapo. Goodbye, free speech.
Well, when the police departments of the country are weakened because so many officers have been forced out over the mandates, what are they going to do? They're going to turn to the federal government to come in and protect the streets.
We want to do. Now, let's wrap it all up. So, with the lithium, within 20 years, China will be the biggest producer of electric cars in the whole world, in my opinion.
They're already producing electric cars that they're bringing into America that cost like $5,000. New car. Take it just as far as a Tesla.
Right, so now this is where the mandates are really about. The mandates are about this. Joe Biden kind of said it the other day.
Tanya, $10 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Tanya. Love your show, Brian. Lots of common sense, and you always have me cracking up. Hi, Kathy. Well, thank you, Tanya. Everyone thank Tanya.
Now, they can mandate us to buy electric cars because we are, quote, killing the planet. That's what I believe this whole mandate thing's about. It's not about the vaccine. It's about enriching China, which is their paymasters, over a longer period of time.
Yeah, it used to be corrupt public officials in Congress would just get some kickbacks from a guy who needed some deal to get a factory built or something, something like that. Now it's from foreign countries in huge amounts of money. And, this is this first started happening at this level with the Clinton Foundation. When the Clintons left office, particular President Clinton, he was doing speeches and he would get paid $200,000 for like a 20-minute speech. And people, what is he saying? That's so much. And what we found out was it was a money laundering operation for them to use their connections and Secretary Clinton to get projects done, like giving the uranium deposits in the United States to Russia, which they did. Yeah.
And it all started back, if people remember, it was a long time ago.
The uranium she gave to Russia. I said lithium because we were talking about the batteries. Hillary gave 80% of the American uranium deposits, which is needed for nuclear warheads, to the Russians.
Right, and then if we just look back when it all really started, in my opinion, with the corrupt China money, was at Los Alamos National Laboratory. There was a Chinese scientist that was, I don't remember his name, that they found he was a spy. And that had something to do with the Clintons. I do not remember the story, but I believe that's what...
Yeah, I don't blame you for not remembering. The Clintons were involved in so much corruption. Who could remember all of it? But, when President Trump came into office and he was appointing his cabinet, Mnuchin, and our first Secretary of State and all these guys, President Trump and his cabinet, I called them the untouchables because they were so rich they couldn't be bought even if they wanted to be corrupt, right? They're already rich. You got these guys around Biden and they're all rich, but they didn't do it the old-fashioned way like President Trump or Mnuchin. They do it through being, well, I'm not rich. I wish I was. Maybe if I jump the border and my family, well, but the thing is, they get rich by being corrupt public officials. Yeah. I know but you know what? The person that the Democrats hate more than anyone in America right now. You know who it is? Who do you think they hate more than anyone right now? Who they're most panicked about? Yeah, the Democrats. Who are they more panicked over right now than any other person in politics? Who would be your guess?
Don't know.
That's not a that. By the way, that sound in the background is not a stopwatch on a game show. He's got his turn signal on. Ed Durr. He's that truck driver that won that election against the top Democrat in Jersey in that state Senate race. And by the way, he's a truck driver for a delivery truck at a local furniture company. He's not even like a semi-truck driver. He beat one of the top 2 Democrats in the state. And they are panicked over this. In fact, I saw the guy he beat doing an interview on the local news in New Jersey. He was dressed like Tony Soprano's guys. He was wearing like a tracksuit, and he did this interview. And he had a gold chain on. He looked like he was in the Sopranos. And he didn't seem worried at all. His whole life has been in the Democrat Party elected office. He's like, well, it looks that way now, doesn't it? And Ed Durr, if he gets sworn in this and unseating this top Democrat, they're terrified that there's going to be hundreds of him in the next election. And there's an article now in the Daily Mail. Listen to this. Revealed racist, Islamophobic, transphobic, and anti-Semitic post of Republican trucker who defeated New Jersey Senate president and only spent $153 on his campaign. So they're out there. They're more concerned about this guy than Winsome Sears in Virginia, because they don't want. He's a Joe the Plumber type, and they're afraid there's going to be 50 Joe the Plumbers in the House next time if they don't. What they're going to do with this guy is terrible. They're going to try to humiliate him and find dirt on this guy to scare other people like him from running for office.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they don't want honest, hardworking people up there. They want corrupt people that they can, join the corrupt club.
Well, like I was saying, Manchin. I like Manchin right now. But where? How did he afford a Maserati? How did he afford a Maserati?
Exactly. Well, if let's do the math. Say for argument's sake, for round numbers, they make $100,000 a year. Nancy Pelosi's been there for 30 years.
Nancy Pelosi is worth $250 million. Her Hunter Biden is her husband. He does all the deals for her. Maxine Waters is the same thing. I like Manchin right now. He's doing good right now, but I want to know how a guy who I guess someone told me he was a mayor and now he makes what does a senator make? $175,000 a year? How did he pay for the Maserati? Is it on his Senate salary? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Here, take this. I'll give it to your son or your daughter, whatever relative.
Let me tell you, if I were a public official, I wouldn't take 10. I would assume anyone trying to give me 10 cents was an undercover Fed. I don't understand, these guys.
Last thing, I believe, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. There are no aliens. Oswald killed Kennedy, but something really stunk with the last election, and I think.
Yeah. Well, listen, I gotta run for a break, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, last break of this hour. We got a guest coming in the next hour, so we only have a few minutes left for calls. We'll be right back.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friend
Steve Kane Show.
Authority. With the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable
And one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesouleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. 48 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, well, let me take one more call. Then I'm going to share this story about Mike Lindell that has scared the hell out of me. I didn't realize what he was facing. Let me take a call or two first, and I'm going to get to this. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. You were bringing up Yeltsin earlier today. And the thing that's kind of funny about it is, I don't know if you're aware, but in 1996, when he went to re-election,
Well, I don't want to get sidetracked talking about Boris Yeltsin. Can we get a little... I mean, I made a reference to it. That doesn't mean we want to go back to the fall of the Soviet Union. I mean, do you have anything that's more relevant? No, it's not. What's more relevant is saying the same thing. Okay, no, I'm sorry. We're not going to talk about Boris Yeltsin. I made a reference where I used his name about Biden. We're not talking about the fall of Russia. Now, let me get to this thing on Mike Lindell. I was in a meeting on Monday for people that are like me and Steve who work with Mike Lindell and MyPillow, people they advertise with Mike Lindell himself, Mr. Mike Lindell. And he was talking about what he and his company are going through with this cancel culture. Knocked off the television shopping channels. Knocked out of all the retailers. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. It's worse than what Mike Lindell was telling us in the meeting on Monday. Now, he's being sued in a defamation lawsuit for $1.3 billion with a B. They're suing Mike Lindell personally and MyPillow for $1.3 billion in damages. And, yeah, I know. It's a defamation lawsuit. And they're claiming that he's using money, he's using company money to defame them. And I'm reading an article which you can find in Business Insider. They are making a move in the end to try to steal his company from him and leave him broke and busted. And this article talks about if they win this $1.3 billion defamation suit against him, they could use that judgment to freeze MyPillow assets and seize the company from him. The damages are expected, if they were to win, hopefully they won't, but if they were to win, the damages against Mike Lindell and MyPillow are expected to obviously be greater than the company's worth and his personal worth. He's not listed on any billionaires list. He's not a billionaire. I'm sure he's a millionaire, but he's not a billionaire. And they talk to bankruptcy attorneys who it says here, once a judge enters in the jury's verdict, because this is going to be a jury case, the way it looks, this defamation case. If Mike Lindell and MyPillow loses on appeal or fails in arguing damages down to a manageable sum, they now can go to Minnesota, which is where the company's based, and start seizing MyPillow assets. You know, kind of like the Goldmans have done with O.J., right? They got a settlement against O.J. Simpson, and he can't earn 10 cents. The only thing he has his NFL pension, which is substantial, but they couldn't touch that for some reason. But he can't do anything else. They take the money. And Mike Lindell didn't talk about this in the meeting the other day, but he talked about the cancel culture. And he talked about how to help him. And you know what I'm going to say, because Mike Lindell has said it. I saw him say this on Right Side Broadcasting. They were interviewing on Right Side Broadcasting at a rally a few months back. And they said, how can we help you? He says, go to mypillow.com and buy something. And that's that. He needs your help and your support. He's fighting not just bad people, but people with unlimited financial resources against him, where even someone who's a wealthy man like Mike Lindell is like poor compared to, right? So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane, and buy something. Everything there is a great Christmas gift for yourself, for your spouse, for your kids, anyone on your gift-giving list. Of course, my favorite items I always tell you about: the MyPillow mattress topper, huge discount with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow slippers, huge discounts with the promo code Kane. And Mike Lindell, that's what part of this meeting we had with, is they gave us our own mypillow.com website. And that was what part of the meeting was about, mypillow.com/Kane, Kane. And they have incredible specials there for us. And I have almost all of them. Now, you still have to use our promo code Kane when you go there at checkout, Kane. But when you go to mypillow.com/Kane, Kane, I'm going to go through a couple of these specials with you. mypillow.com/Kane, Kane, and with our promo code Kane at checkout. The MyPillow My Slippers, I have these. 50% off. 50% off. In fact, I'm getting a pair for Steve. It's a great deal, 50% off. They have styles for both men and women in multiple colors. The MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. With the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, buy one set, get a second set free. And the flannels are in as well. They've got stripes in too if you have the solids. Buy one set, get a second set of the Giza Dream Sheets free. They're 100% Giza cotton. Mike Lindell says there's a lot of guys selling Giza sheets. They have like 10% Giza cotton. The MyPillows, they are 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. I have them and they're spectacular. The MyPillow mattress topper, when you go to mypillow.com/Kane, Kane, with our promo code Kane, the best deal yet. This is a better deal than I got on mine. 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper. 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout. Now listen, any special you see at mypillow.com you can take advantage of with the promo code Kane, Kane, no matter what it is. These are some of my favorites, but there's many others there. I don't have time to go through all of them right now. You know, there's almost 200 products there, you know. But this story here, they're trying to destroy him and take his company. And you're going to hear us talking a lot about this. I'm going to save that article. Steve's not here today. He'll be back on Monday. He's listening, but I'm going to go over this article on Monday with Steve. Makes me physically ill. Why are they doing this? Because just like these guys in the DC Gitmo, he supports President Trump, and he's vocal about it. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane, take advantage of these deals, and stand and help Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell needs you. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Scott and Kiev. Hey.
Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, I saw a MyPillow commercial on Hannity last.
Yes, he is.
Well, I ended up watching all 3 episodes of Patriot Purge yesterday.
Oh, tell me your thoughts on Patriot Purge.
A lot of the stuff I was absolutely tracking this going on. A lot of it's pretty scary stuff, especially when you start looking at like the purging of the military and basically political prisoners within the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen we've done enough other countries, and it's scary that, just like Tucker Carlson pointed out, now they're turning it on the U.S. population. So it should be pretty disturbing to anybody, regardless of what side of the political aisle.
Well, these guys, what he talks to are guys that used to work in these black site prisons during the height of the War on Terror, where we would have things going on in Czechoslovakia on some freighter, where we would turn it into a jail. That's what's going on in this country now. Total psychops operations going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even said, after when Trump was in office, I used to talk to my parents and my family all the time. I said, this is one of the, when you look at like what the basically the tech oligarchs in the States, the media, all this stuff they were saying against Trump, how they were all on board in their messaging. I said it's one of the greatest information operation campaigns directed against American people I've ever seen. And it's just gotten worse. Now they've actually weaponized, the DOJ, going at this whole woke, culture, and they're going after parents, calling them domestic terrorists. Those are tactics. Like when Hitler, I hate to use a Nazi reference, but when Hitler, he basically galvanized a part of the population by demonizing Jews. You had to have a common enemy. Well, that's what a big population of the U.S. is doing now to conservatives and Trump supporters. They're trying to use them as a common enemy, to basically justify all these actions, and it's pretty scary.
Well, the Democrats have always wanted to take out their Republican opposition. Their first attempt was when they left the Union and formed their own country and led an armed rebellion against the Republic, right? The Civil War. And, that was the real insurrection there. And that insurrection never ended. The Republicans should have outlawed the Democrat Party at the end of the Civil War, but they got involved in this Reconstruction thing and buddied up with them, and things got back to normal right quick.
I joined that Fox Nation app last night. If you're a military or a veteran, you get a 1-year subscription for free, and there was also another tab for first responders. I'm not sure what...
How do you prove it? Do you have to put in some numbers or something to prove you're a veteran?
It wants to upload some type of document. I literally just uploaded a copy of my last promotion orders.
Oh, okay. So they're really not... They're taking your word for it is what they're doing.
Well, I don't know what all they're allowing, I know it just says you have to upload some type of document, and they have to verify it.
Oh, did it take was it instant, or did they actually verify it?
It did. I got an email like 20 minutes later that had been verified.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know what the special was, not until after you create your...
Yeah, they're pushing that. I'm not pushing the Fox Nation app. I'm not too impressed by the things I see on it, tell you the truth. But I do like Patriot Purge.
After that, I'm just glad because I tried everywhere to try to watch it. I couldn't, so at least I did finally get to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You've been talking quite a bit about it.
No, it's scary. It's absolutely frightening. Patriot Purge. I think that Tucker Carlson. I was talking about this earlier. I think it's on the app because it's too spot on to be on the regular Fox network. I think they could not. They were afraid to put it on the regular Fox News. I don't think it's. My first thought was they put it there to try to get people to get the app. I don't think so. I think that it's too controversial for the regular Fox.
Well, what's scary is the mainstream media. Look at the messaging they were talking about that just based off the 2 or 3 minute trailer. How it's this horrible thing, and it's pretty scary. It's Tucker Carlson's trying to basically put a polite face on white supremacy. They just all aligned in their messaging before they'd even seen it. It wasn't even off the trailer. So.
Yeah. Take care, man. All right. We'll take our top of the hour break a minute late. It's 8:01, and it must be raining outside because I don't have any sun up yet. It's dark outside like the middle of the night. I'm looking out of the window behind me. Usually we got the sun up. All right, we'll take our break. 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. Steve off today, back on Monday. Stay tuned.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since
Who did you want me to ask if they were going on the cruise, Jacqueline? I saw the message, and then Carolyn? I lost where it is now.
2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15
I don't know if Carolyn. I don't know. Is Carolyn? Are you going on the cruise? My wife can't travel, unfortunately, because my wife is disabled. She has a pretty serious illness called pulmonary hypertension, and it's a chore for her to travel to the mall for an hour or two. So, sadly. Oh, Carolyn's not going. Maybe next year. Okay. Yeah. So, no, I wish my wife could go, but my wife can't travel, and certainly she's not allowed to leave the country. Oh, the cruises are great. The reason I started doing the cruises is so I could get a vacation. It's the only way I get, like, a vacation.
954-753-8080. Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience.
You have what, Patricia?
Two bow ties in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price?
And
half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody had, the tires I was looking at had any miles.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, the price is good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires.
And what is that, Patricia?
Tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great.
No, I'll just be up at a different time. I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning on the weekends. So.
Your old tires, the price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
I got to get a haircut. My hair's getting long. I just haven't had a chance to get a haircut.
At Friendly Tire, a call. His number 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest.
I put a link to our My Pillow page, pinned it to the top of the chat. They have those really, really huge deals.
441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel.
No, I will not be at the beach. People here in Florida, even though I live by the beach, we don't go to the beach that much. Mostly tourists. Well, my hair's not messed up, you know. To look like Sloppy Steve Bannon, I'd have to mess up my hair. Isn't that what President Trump calls him, Sloppy Steve?
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll-free. Dial 1-888-COCAINE. 1. That's
Oh, yes.
1. And now,
All right. Third and final hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Oh, man. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO, Kane, 1, K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. It is completely dark outside, so, oh, man. Oh, man. Got to drive in this stuff. Oh, by the way, Friendly Tire in Margate open on Saturdays. If you can't make it in during the week, open on Saturdays, as is any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Also open on Saturdays, no appointment needed. All right, let me get to some of these audio sound bites that I've not played yet. Winsome Sears, the left are in a freak out about her too. And Joy Reid is in hiding right now. And of course, yesterday, Winsome Sears, the Republican African-American female Lieutenant Governor-elect of Virginia, was on Fox News with Martha McCallum and challenged Joy Reid to a debate. Let me play this for you. This is good stuff. Winsome Sears on Joy Reid.
Born here, this is not my culture, not my country, but it allowed me, America allowed me to come and do for myself and for my family. And I remember when I was wanting to go to college, I had 3 children under 5. My husband took a lower paying job so he could stay home because he already had his degree. And I put one of my children on the back of a bicycle so that I could get to college. So no one can say to me, I don't know what it is to be poor. You're looking at the American dream. So we can do better, and it's not 1963 when my father came at the height of the civil rights movement, 17 days before Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. We're better than that. We're always going to have problems. I understand that. I'm not saying we're perfect, but you can see those people at the border right now trying to get in. They're dying to get in because they know if they can put a foot on American soil, the trajectory of their lives will change just as it did for my father.
Okay, now that's the first part. That's her on. That's not the challenge to Joy yet. That's the second part. But I thought that was so good. You know, they're in a panic over the truck driver in New Jersey, no doubt about that. And they're also panicked over Winsome Sears, okay, because she is a threat to their entire narrative. She came here with nothing, with her father, nothing, and now look at her, right? And it's hard to make the argument that white supremacists are responsible for the Democrats' defeat in Virginia when those so-called white supremacists elected an African-American female to be their lieutenant governor. It doesn't even make sense. So, now she's going to get into Joy Reid.
You know, here's what Joy Reid said last night. I want to just get a quick response from you, if I can, over on MSNBC about the Youngkin win and your win. Watch this.
You have to be willing to vocalize that these Republicans are dangerous. That this isn't a party that's just another political party that disagrees with us on tax policy. That at this point, they're dangerous. They're dangerous to our national security because stoking that kind of soft white nationalism eventually leads to the hardcore stuff.
Your reaction to that, Ms. Sears?
I wish Joy Reid would invite me on her show. Let's see if she's woman enough to do that. I'd go in a heartbeat and we have a real discussion without Joy speaking about me behind my back, if you will. She talks about white supremacy. Does she know that I ran against a white supremacist? I mean, Joy, come on, get your...
And she's talking about Governor Northam, the current governor, the Democrat, the outgoing governor who was in blackface and the Klansman outfit.
Boy, come on, get your facts straight, and then come talk to me. I'm waiting for you.
We hope she'll take you up on it.
Okay, yeah. Now, Joy Reid is in a panic right now. Because the last thing Joy Reid wants is to go into a debate on her program with Winsome Sears. Because she will destroy her. Now, I predict it is eventually going to happen. Because if enough people bring attention to it, she's going to be embarrassed into doing it. And what you need to do is take that clip, it's all over the internet, keep retweeting it, and tag Joy Reid. Joy Reid's very involved in Twitter. I once tagged her in a tweet, and within 5 or 10 minutes, I heard back from her directly. She even took a screenshot of my profile and sent it back to me and asked me why I follow her on Twitter. Well, I follow a lot of people because I want to know what the enemy's saying here. So she's obsessed with Twitter, Joy Reid. So take that video clip there. There's stories about it everywhere. Retweet it all the time. Tag Joy Reid. She will see it. This is how it'll play out. She's going to be embarrassed into having Winsome Sears on the show, which she's terrified to do. So what Joy Reid will do is not have her in studio. She'll do it on a satellite uplink, which gives her a bit of a technical upper hand. And then what she'll get through it, but she's going to, if enough people keep talking about this and don't let it disappear, Joy Reid will be embarrassed into having Winsome Sears on her program. She should really welcome the opportunity because it would get, I don't watch Joy Reid's show. The only time, if you hear a clip that I play from her, it's just because I heard about it online and pulled it off. Okay, I don't watch her show. I'm not interested in what she has to say. But if Winsome Sears was on her show, it would be a ratings banana. I mean, it would be her ratings. She would break a ratings record for her program. But she's afraid of Winsome Sears. I wonder if Joy Reid was ever poor, like Winsome Sears. She's the great American success story. No, I don't think so. Now, a couple more sound bites I want to play. Then we're going to break. Let's see here. Oh, the greatest governor in the history of American governors. Not just the greatest governor today, but the greatest governor of a state ever, Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, he has a press event every day pretty much, somewhere in Florida. He had one by my house last year, and I didn't find out about it until after it was over. He was at the Home Depot by my house. I was so upset that I missed Governor DeSantis then. Well, if he comes in the neighborhood again, hopefully I'll find out about it. But anyway, he was somewhere in Florida. It doesn't matter where. But he was speaking to a group in Florida yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis, and well, let me play it for you. It speaks for itself. This is awesome.
If you look at that, if you look at what's going on with some of the big corporations with their woke agenda, when you look at the Brandon administration in terms of what
Did you hear that? And the crowd goes nuts. The Brandon administration. That just came off the top of Governor DeSantis' head, too, because he cracked himself up. It wasn't like he planned it. Listen.
woke agenda, when you look at the Brandon administration in terms of what
Hear him laughing? He's laughing at it himself. It's pretty funny, isn't it? I know. So maybe from this point forward, we should refer to it as should we refer to it as the Brandon administration now? Will everyone know what we're talking about if we say the Brandon administration? I think they will. Oh man, you gotta love this guy. You gotta love this guy. All right, our number toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and come back with more after this. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's
Hey, Scott.
THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Come on in. That's your mic right there. That one right there.
You got a chair?
You can grab that one behind you. I like to stand, but you know. Hold on. I got a mic on here. I want to ask you something. To ensure you make the right choice. 1 second. Call us at 954-753-8080. No. 954-753-8080.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. We needed a new roof, and we knew we needed a new roof, but we just procrastinated. We saw wet spots on the ceilings. We called Tom Laporta, and he came out, he did a free roof inspection, which he does for everybody, not just us. And sure enough, we needed a new roof. We had a mold problem. It was only going to get worse. We dealt with our HOA association. He fixed our roof. Not only did he take care of the roof, he took care of the ceiling stand.
I'll let them find that out when they call you.
They
Well,
cleaned everything up. They painted, they sealed inside and out. Everything is beautiful.
Well, I'll leave that out, but
If you get those hard South Florida rainstorms, it is such a pleasure.
you might have to pull that down now because I had it up there high for you to stand. It's a little, it'll go, the mic will face down a little bit. You might have to lean up into it.
Courteous. Tom answered every question. Call Tom Laporta for a free roof inspection. He does residential and commercial properties.
What's that? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Steve's off today, but Steve does the show. He's got a studio at home. We connect with. We're not in the same place.
I was going to say, I can't believe you're still driving at his age of...
No. Not especially up here. This is 50 miles from his house almost. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be back on Monday, and stopping in today, haven't seen him in a while, from Cut My Kilowatts, Scott has joined us. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I saw the weather outside. I wasn't sure you'd make it today. It's raining out there.
Great weather for a duck.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, Scott, Steve and I have known Scott, I don't know, about 10 years or so?
Yeah, you guys actually were the first radio station we went on in South Florida. We're on many others, but this has been the best and the favorite and produced the most results. And the Steve Kane listeners have been very, very good to me over the years, and I want to thank all of them.
Yeah, and I remember the first time, is that your phone? Is that somebody calling you? I hear it vibrate. Scott, it's hard to get Scott to come in studio because he's so busy. When you call him at Cut My Kilowatts, the number rings directly to his cell phone. I remember the first time we met you, Steve and I, we were at an electrician's office, and you came in and you were talking to us about radiant barrier, and you actually had a demonstration you showed us of how the radiant barrier worked. And I told Steve, I was like, come on, this guy, everybody would be doing this if they could do it. And Steve and many of our listeners have the radiant barrier. It saves people boatloads of money forever on their electric bill. Can you tell people what radiant barrier is and how you save them money on their electric bill forever?
Well, basically, radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes underneath the roof of your attic under the roof deck, but attached to the bottom of the trusses so there's an air gap. It's actually the same material they use at NASA when they line the inside of the space shuttle to keep the extreme temperatures of 100, 600 degrees plus or minus that they shift, because it literally stops either a heat or a cold wave. So what the radiant barrier does is it stops the sun and the radiant energy transfer right at your roof deck and reflects it back out your roof. And your attic stays like 30 or 40 degrees cooler. It's almost like standing in the shade outside under a tree on a hot day. That's how your attic becomes. So what happens is when the radiant energy waves aren't beating down in the attic, the insulation you have in your attic on the bottom of the top of the ceiling doesn't heat up, and then the heat doesn't transfer into the house. So literally what it does is it cuts the heat gain on the house tremendously, and it cuts the AC runtime in half, lowers the temperature of the attic 30 or 40 degrees. I mean, it's really amazing. We do garages for people, even though they're not air conditioned. The garages come down 10 to 15 degrees in temperature without the air conditioning, and they're actually pretty cool and comfortable to walk in and hang out.
Well, an attic
hot and steamy.
In Florida, an attic can get up to about 135 degrees?
135, 140. I mean, if you got a black roof, a lot of these people are doing the black roofs, which is insane. Their attics will be 150, 160 degrees. I mean, literally, they can't cool the house.
You know, I've gone up in my attic because I use it for storage. I've gone up there in the summer, and literally 60 seconds in the attic, I come out, it looks like I took a shower with my clothes on. It's that hot.
Yeah, when you put the radiant barrier in there, you can go up there in the middle of August at 2 in the afternoon, and I mean, it's not going to be cool like your house, but you're not going to break out in a sweat storm, and you're not going to be like in danger of dying like you are the other times.
You know what it does, you know, when the radiant barrier cools off your attic, it does a couple of things. One, obviously it cools off your ceiling, cools off that insulation, But your air conditioning ducts are in your attic, and those are getting heated up constantly. And what the radiant barrier does is it stops the air conditioning from having to work so hard to keep your air conditioning ducts cool too, right?
What happens is the air in the ducts don't really superheat anymore. So when the air turns on, you don't blow hot air out into your house for the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big deal because you've got to overcome all that. So literally, when we do this for people, and they do radiant barrier and proper insulation, it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. They usually cut their bill about 30 to 40%. So if a guy's got a $300 bill, it brings it down to a $200 bill. Now, let's say on an average 2,000 square foot house, you know, the job pays for itself in 2, 3, 4 years, depending on how high their bills were. The higher their bills are, the more I can help them.
Yeah, and a lot of times you may think you need a new air conditioner, maybe you do, but you know what, maybe you don't, because, you know, with the radiant barrier, your air conditioning system will be working more efficiently.
Yeah, and the key to that is if your air conditioning works good at night, but it doesn't work good during the day, it can't keep up during the day, that's a heat gain problem. So we can either solve that with radiant barrier insulation or the combination of both. You know, and here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, I don't have the money for radiant barrier and I don't have the money for, you know, so you're my customer. I'll give you your options, the insulation, the radiant barrier. I'll tell you which one's the best. I'll tell you what to expect from each option, what it costs, and then basically you're the boss. It's your budget. There's no pressure from me. I don't twist any arms. I don't do anything. I don't come out to your house. I've been doing this for 12 years now in South Florida. Been with these guys for a decade now. And I mean, I'm not a pushy salesman. Like I said, I don't even come to your house. If you call me, I need 5 to 10 minutes of your time. I ask you some simple questions about your house. I look your house up online, and I get back to you with a price. I lay out your options, and then I just wait for you to come back to me and tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, now one thing Steve mentioned, I was talking to Steve, and he wanted me to make sure that I mentioned one thing that I don't think people realize, but people know about it. In your house, this is before you have radiant barrier, in your house here in Florida, you always have one room, maybe two, that are like the hottest rooms in your house. The room that is furthest away from your air conditioning system is usually the hottest room in the house. And what Steve was telling me, with the radiant barrier, it cuts that out because you're cooling that attic, you're cooling that insulation, you're cooling that ceiling so much that room that used to be like the hottest room in the house is not anymore.
Well, what it does is it actually makes you feel like you have almost twice as much air conditioning. So your air runs half the time because it doesn't have to overcome the heat gain. So that means it can maintain the temperature in the house evenly. The other thing we do that a lot of people don't know is we do ducts. We do the complete attic. So we can vacuum your attic out if you have old, dirty, smelly insulation or mold or mildew and sanitize it. Or if you had rats or rodents, I have a rat guy that's very good.
Oh my goodness.
That I could send out and get rid of that problem. Then we can clean the whole attic out, do it. We also can do the duct work. And if you have a duct system where half the house never gets cooled, you know, we can re-engineer your ducts for you. Really simply, basically what I do is most houses, the air conditioning's on one side, and you know, the further away from the air you get, the less cool it is. So what we do is we'll run the air out to the middle of the house, you put it in a splitter box, split the air, and then send an equal amount of air both ways, making the house uniformly cool throughout.
And it makes the AC more efficient.
Oh yeah, it makes the AC more efficient, makes it run less. And you know, if your ducts are 25 or 30 years old, they're basically at the end of their lifespan. What you don't want to do is wait till they start leaking, dripping, and condensating, and then you have, you know, wet spots on your ceiling, possibly ceilings caving in because the water collects, mold and mildew. Then you got to clean the attic out. You can get a deal on them, you know, and get your ducks in a row in the winter.
Well, let me give out your number now. Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. This number rings directly to his cell phone. Okay, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. You know, I think most people in Florida, before radiant barrier, and you guys out there, if you think about this, your highest household bill is your electric bill because air conditioning's life in Florida, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the radiant barrier is what we call the poor man's spray foam.
Yeah.
Okay, because radiant barrier with all the discounts and stuff I get is going in at under $1 a square foot. Spray foam is around $4 a square foot.
Wow.
And the spray foam is great if you're on the water and you have humidity problems, you have no other choice. But if you're not on the water and you just want to get the performance and the energy savings of spray foam for 25 cents on the dollar, I'm your guy.
Now, okay, like I know you were talking about the garages. A lot of garages, a house will have insulation, but not over the garage. So what do you do?
Well, here's the thing. If they're going to air condition the garage, we put radiant barrier and insulation in. But if they're never going to air condition the garage, we just put the radiant barrier in the garage.
Really?
And then the radiant barrier drops that garage 10 or 15 degrees by itself, and the air conditioning the insulation won't make it any cooler unless you're going to have air.
Well, that's amazing because
I don't waste people's money.
Most people, their washer and dryer are in the garage in Florida, and they don't have air conditioning, they don't have insulation, and it's unbearable.
Listen, most people, when I get done with their house and their garage, they go, I love my electric bill, but my garage is to die for.
Yeah.
It's literally a game changer for these people. My kids, when I was in a house in a neighborhood and we had a lot of kids and they would all want to play, I put radiant barrier in my garage. The neighborhood kids took over my garage, and because the other garages were 100, 110 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
My garage was like 85.
Wow.
80 degrees.
Yeah,
cool.
That's interesting because what you're really doing is you're increasing the usable square footage of your home.
Yeah, a lot of people have me put the radiant barrier in their garage, and then they'll use that as a workout room, and then they can do projects and actually work out there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just unbearable. We put radiant barrier in commercial buildings to lower the temperature so people can work in it without air conditioning. Because air conditioning you got to pay every month.
Mm-hmm.
You buy the radiant barrier once, it works for you for 20 years. So I mean, you just can't beat it.
Now, Steve, I was talking to Steve about this a lot. He was sorry he couldn't be here today, but he had a lot to say about this. Another thing he pointed out. See, unlike Steve, I just have a little tiny house. Steve has the Kane compound mansion. He has a 2-story house. And if those of you out there that have 2-story houses, which is a big luxury item here in South Florida, that means you're Steve Kane rich. But if you have a 2-story house, that air conditioner upstairs, it's like a sauna in most people's houses when you go upstairs.
What happens upstairs is it's taking all the heat gain plus the air is falling to the first floor.
Yeah.
So most people have a 2-story. The second story is like, will be 4 or 5 degrees.
After the show, he'll call you back, guys. That's his phone's going off the hook.
4 or 5 degrees cooler than the downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 or 5 degrees hotter than the downstairs. Excuse me. So like what happens is the house heats up all day. The upstairs is hot. Your insulation's hot. Your ceilings are hot.
Yeah.
And then the sun goes down, but all that the ceilings are hot. The insulation's still hot. That heat's still on you for hours and hours into the night. Like you're trying to go to sleep at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever. It's still hot up there. You can't get it to cool down. It doesn't cool down to 2 or 3 in the morning. But with the radiant barrier, that never heats up.
Yeah.
So it's nice all day upstairs.
Yeah.
And at night it's very, very cool and comfortable.
I know a lot of people that don't go upstairs in their house during the day ever because it's just too hot up there, and they'll buy a house thinking they'll have an upstairs office that's not usable.
And the really cool thing is if you got a 2-story, the job is like half the price because it's half the square footage.
Yeah.
So I mean, 2-story people get off really, really economical on the deal, and they get probably more benefits than anyone else.
Now there's one other room in the house that I don't know who started doing this, but in Florida, we have our air conditioning, of course, but in a lot of houses, in particular older houses, there's not an AC duct in the bathrooms in a lot of houses. I don't know why that is, but it's true, and bathrooms are warm places, but the radiant barrier would help with that too.
Well, the radiant barrier helps with that too. And the other thing is, if we're doing your duct work, we can put in new drops in your bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very good at air conditioning comfort issues.
Yeah. All right. Now listen, we're going to take our break here for the bottom of the hour. We've got Scott from Cut My Kilowatts here. He'll save you boatloads of money forever on your electric bill with radiant barrier. His number 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Don't go anywhere.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Okay.
Give me a call today.
Steve Kane Show. 50%. Oh, hey, Barry. Hold on. Call in with our attorney.
939
The guy that let you in, he's going to record a new spot with you after we're done over there. If you want to put a new spot together, yeah, you'll do it on top of your head. You'll be fine. Or you can do it like you always do and text it to me. It's up to you.
That last segment.
Huh?
The last segment. It was off mic.
It was moving. I turned him up.
I was off mic?
No, you're fine.
Just that last little segment you were.
You were fine.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve will be back on Monday, but we have Steve's attorney, Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group on the line. Barry Siegel, good morning. Doing all right. Doing all right. Well, you know, you have your Revocable Living Trust workshop coming up in a couple weeks.
Filling up. That's going to be on the 17th of November. And that of course, that'll be on the Revocable Living Trusts and estate planning. And we happen to be not only an estate planning law firm, but also elder law. So while we do help people of all ages with their estate plans, young families, people who are working, people who are retired, but one of the unique things is we can do estate planning at all levels, while at the same time we do elder law, so we know what to put into the estate plan.
I'm allergic to bananas.
To help people become eligible for Medicaid down the road.
Allergic to
And really the point is,
oh, no,
that
thanks.
you have the world's greatest estate plan. Everything is done right, but you lose it all during your lifetime because you or your spouse become ill, and you have to end up spending down your
We'll do this
assets
last
on the
segment,
cost of
then we'll
long-term care.
have the
What
right
good
time I
does
need.
that estate plan do for you if you're broke? So our goal is to make sure
We're going to do the prices now and
estate plan, while at the same
stuff.
time they're able to
Yeah.
preserve their assets and not go broke if they or their spouse happen to become ill.
Yeah, and it looks like our snowbirds are starting to come back to Florida, and you know, people that live in other states can actually have 2 probates, Barry, right? Yeah, that's right. And you can avoid all that by calling the Siegel Law Group. They offer a free consultation to all Steve Kane Show listeners. The number over there, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week. All right, take care. Good guy. He did Steve's Trust, and I know many of yours out there too. All right, in studio, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He'll save you boatloads of money on your electric bill with Radiant Barrier. 954-939-1500 is his number. Rings directly to his cell phone. 954-939-1500. So we told you guys what Radiant Barrier, you know, how it works, the science behind it. But this is a great time to do it because the weather's getting a little cooler. So you can save people money on Radiant Barrier and their insulation work right now.
Yeah, actually right now at this time of year, it's cooling down. We're a little bit slower. And I have 6 crews I'm trying to keep working. I don't want to lay anyone off for the holidays. So what I'm doing is I'm giving 50% off Radiant Barrier, 50% off insulation. I'm doing the duct work at 50% off too. And if you need like the whole package in the attic and you know you need everything done, I can give you an even extra special deal and sharpen my pencil some more because it's a lot of work in the same place. And
yeah.
We can usually accomplish all this work in one day. Sometimes it'll bleed over into a second day, but you know, 95% of the time we're done in one day in your house.
Yeah, and you know, it's Radiant Barrier. It's a real added value to your home when not just because you're saving money every month on your electric bill. It's an added value when you go to sell because, you know, that's a big selling piece. That's like having hurricane glass.
Well, you know, actually, when you sell a home that's energy efficient, it's worth 10% more money
Mm-hmm.
on the market. And when the people come to look at your house and You open that attic and it looks like the inside of the space shuttle up there,
Mhm.
and it's cool and crisp and comfortable instead of hot and stagnant and nasty.
Yeah.
And you show them the low electric bills. I mean, they're like, wow, this is too good.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to be cool and comfortable in their home in South Florida. That's your only reprise from the heat down there.
Yeah, and I would tell you guys, if you think your air conditioner is not working and you may need a new air conditioner, call Scott from Cut My Kilowatts first. Talk to him about Radiant Barrier, because you very well may not need a new air conditioning unit. You just may need Radiant Barrier.
Yeah, and if you do need a new air conditioner unit, we do installs for our customers. Our primary business is not
Mhm.
AC, but we have an AC guy we work with. And
Yeah.
I can handle the whole thing for you, so you have a no headache, smooth deal done in a day or two, as opposed to turning into weeks like normal contractors. The other thing is, when you call me, I don't ask for any money down. I talk to you over the phone, we set it up, we come out, we do our work, we perform, we provide you before and after pictures, we make sure you're happy, and when you're happy with the work, you see everything's done properly, then you pay the bill. And you
Yeah.
can pay me with cash, check, or charge.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm like the wholesale guy here in South Florida. So what you're doing is you're going to the guy that does the work for all these air conditioning companies, the guy that does the work for all these rat removal companies, all these other people hire me to do the insulation pricing. I've been doing this so long, if I talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes on the phone, I can analyze your house, tell you what's going to happen, what you can expect to save, and we can make an appointment, and we can usually get someone there within 24 to 48 hours and get the work completed that day.
Now, Radiant Barrier works not just because I'm telling you and Steve Kane is telling you. One of our chronic callers, Richie the bus driver, has Radiant Barrier in his home in Hope Sound, and he raves about it all the time. And Richie doesn't rave about anything, but he's always telling me about how great what you do with the Radiant Barrier is. Now listen, Scott here from Cut My Kilowatts covers most of the state of Florida. And this is the Sunshine State with lots of heat and lots of sunshine. So no matter where you are in Florida, unless you're up in the Panhandle, you need air conditioner. Pretty much, you need air conditioning almost every day. I think there may be one day a year we don't have our air conditioning on all day. Maybe one day a year. It's that hot to me in Florida. So give Scott a call. No matter where you are in Florida, he covers most of the state of Florida. If it's too far out of his range, he'll tell you. But call him and find out first. 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That number rings directly to his cell phone. Now let's just summarize right here before we end with what Radiant Barrier does, a little bit about how it works, but mostly how much money it's going to save them every month on their electric bill.
Well, it can save you up to 30 to 40% when used with proper insulation. And
wow.
I mean, it usually pays for itself in 2 to 3 years, maybe sometimes 4 or 5, just depending on how big the house is, and run the numbers. But I'll be honest with you, and I'm not going to give you blue sky numbers. I'll give you what I think is a realistic number, and then you make a decision if it's worth it on the payback. But I mean, the average customer of mine is investing a few $1,000s into their home, and they're getting that money back in a couple years, and then they're making $100 a month profit after that. Where can you put out a couple thousand, $2,000-$3,000 and get your money back in 2 or 3 years and then make $100 a month? There's no investment like that on the planet.
It's almost like, I know this is a liberal thing, but it's almost like it's a cost-effective way to go green in a way, because you're not using so much electricity. It's really amazing. And Scott has been with us for at least 10 years, probably longer. And we've been sending Steve Kane listeners to Scott from Cut My Kilowatts all that time with Radiant Barrier. And I hear back from people all the time, and they rave and rave about how great it is, not just the quality of workmanship, the great prices, but how much they're actually saving on their electric bill. So let me give the number out one more time. Again, this rings directly to Scott's cell phone, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. He covers most of the state of Florida. Give him a call and talk to Scott about Radiant Barrier and how he can save you big money on your. That's right. Donald Trump is in the listening range of our audience. Radiant Barrier could save Mar-a-Lago some money too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Don to call me.
You put radiant barrier in Mar-a-Lago?
I put radiant barrier in his house for free.
Mar-a-Lago's pretty big. You sure about that?
I think it'd be a good endorsement.
Yeah, that's true. Does it come in gold? Because President Trump likes gold.
Nah, he'd have to go to the silver standard.
Okay. I mean, one more time. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
1470 FM 95.3,
Oh, 1 second.
96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, I got one more segment, but I got our gold report and another call in. So, do you want to record a spot? I'll take you over there. He can get you doing it now. So
But you're done with me, right?
We're done. Yeah.
I think that went well.
Yeah, I only got a minute, so I'll walk you over.
On the radio. Tell us about
Rich.
his experience with champagne on
Hi, it's Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes, and that advertisement came on for champagne.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously wanted $800. He said, well, you need to take your power steering fluid, and Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, said, you don't need brakes, and I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed.
Sorry, guys. He doesn't have one of these. He doesn't have one of these. That's why.
But a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair.
No, Scott's going to record a new commercial, so I took him over to the radio station production room, and they're recording a commercial with him now. So he doesn't have to wait for me to get off the air to do it. Not for the live stream. He was using the radio mic, so if you listen on iHeart or on the radio. But I live stream on my iPhone, and I have this plugged into my iPhone.
Immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing
Hey there, hold on.
on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Alrighty, 46 minutes after the hour is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve will be back with us on Monday morning, and it's that time. Most popular time of the day on the Steve Kane Show. It's time for the Gold and Precious Metals Report with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Good. Well, I can tell the metals are doing good just by your tone.
Yeah, the metals are doing good. They're holding very nicely around our support levels and giving us opportunities to take advantage of little dips once in a while. And yesterday we saw a good trading range of gold all the way from $1,769 all the way up to $1,800 before closing up $22.50 at $1,791.80. Silver was up 26 cents, closing out the day at $23.75 the ounce. While platinum was down $3 at $1,024, and palladium was up $2 at $1,938. Overnight, we saw gold trade all the way back up to about $1,801, and then again selling off at that $1,800 number. Right now, we're at $1,791. That's just down 80 cents from yesterday's nice jump. Silver down 2 cents at $23.75 the ounce. Platinum unchanged at $1,024, and palladium up $4 at $1,944 the ounce. Big jobs report came out this morning. Very, very good. Unemployment down, and things are certainly, the economy is still very heated up and doing very well. And we're going to
see how the Fed responds to this going forward, but there is some tightening in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, now, William Youngerman Incorporated, they open up weekdays at 10. You can give them a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Remember, everything, all the metals are in stock and available for immediate delivery. You walk right out with your metals in hand, in your pocket. 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday. All right, take care, guys. All right, now we just have a few minutes left in the show, and I tell you, I started the show by asking the question, who is running America? And we really don't know. Got some callers had some opinions on it, so Soros, Obama. No one really knows. But one thing we do know, when you ask the question, who's running America, it's not Biden. And yesterday was one of the most, I believe, frightening moments we have had since Inauguration Day with Biden. And it's over this business, over the $450,000 per migrant who was separated during the Trump administration. I'm going to play these two clips. The first one was from the day before yesterday. This is when Peter Doocy of Fox News asked Biden about the $450,000.
This ought to be good.
I think so too. About the way forward, Mr. President, as you were leaving for your overseas trip, there were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report?
Yeah.
Okay, so
$450,000 per person. Is that what you're saying?
That was separated from...
See, when Biden's saying this, you can tell he has no idea what the hell Doocy's talking about. He calls it garbage. He's not even familiar with the whole idea that they're going to pay these people.
Family member at the border under the last administration.
That's not going to happen.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty definitive. He doesn't even know what Doocy's talking about. He's like, what are you talking about? That's garbage. Nothing like that's going to happen. He's totally out of it. Now, Jen Psaki is out with the COVID, and she's got her number 2 there. I don't know. The girl's name is Jean something or other. I don't know her name. It's not important. Another one of the minions. She went out at the press briefing yesterday. She's taking over for Jen Psaki while she's out with the COVID, and she corrected the President of the United States. And I believe not only is this frightening, but it's historic in that I don't think a correction has ever been made like this of the President of the United States, because when a president says something, it's automatically policy. This is her yesterday correcting Biden. Carolyn, $20 super sticker. Thank you. Everyone, thank Carolyn for that $20 super chat.
Settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government. DOJ can obviously speak more to that process. The president what he was reacting to was the dollar figure that was mentioned, that you mentioned to him yesterday. As press accounts to date indicate, there's been press accounts on this, DOJ made clear to the plaintiffs that the reported figures are higher than anywhere that a settlement can land. Again, this is something that the Department of Justice can speak to. I do not have anything more to add to this.
Have you ever heard a press spokesperson at the White House the next day going out and correcting the President of the United States? And that's why I asked the question, who's running America? We know it's not Biden. Because you can tell when Peter Doocy brought that up to Biden has good days and bad days. We'll admit that, right? I mean, everybody agrees with that. But that was a good day. He was with it. He was awake. I'm not being funny. No, that was a good day. And he had no idea what the hell Doocy was talking about. That means that this whole thing of giving any amount of money, whether it's $450,000 or $450, whatever idea, whatever policy they've come up with to pay the migrants, they did not tell Biden about it. Not only did they not tell Biden about it, he went on TV and said it's a garbage report. And then 24 hours later, someone made the decision that the White House press spokesperson would come out and correct the President of the United States. Who has that kind of juice? Who has that kind of juice? Now, my guess would be this, that there is not anyone running America. What I believe we have going on, it's not Obama, it's not Soros, it's not Pelosi. What we have is a committee running the country right now. We have people that are totally rogue, running their own agency of the government, their own part of the government, and then from time to time they come together and cooperate. Okay? That's what's going on. Right? Like this thing with the $450,000 is going through the Justice Department for some strange, bizarre reason. So, you've got the Attorney General who's doing his own thing. You've got Psaki and her team. They're doing their own thing. But this is a big deal. And Biden may be checked out half the days, but Jill is not. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Biden. Dr. Biden is not Joe Biden. And so many people are talking about this incident yesterday, which is a humiliation to Biden. And it's also a threat to his presidency because this is showing he is not in control. And everyone knows that he's got the cognitive issues and the cognitive decline. This is the time when someone like Kamala makes a move. And when I ask this question, who's running America, the press should be asking that question. This isn't a flub. That was not a flub. This isn't a flub. He stepped out of line, and either they didn't brief him, they never told him about it, or he forgot. I think he didn't know about it. I think they've gotten so comfortable. See, there's been a transition. In the beginning, they were briefing him. It sounds to me like they've gotten to the place now where they do not even bother briefing Biden. They just do it. And not only is that not right, not only is that illegal, but it's dangerous. Because what other things are they deciding to do without running them by him? It was bad enough the way things were working before where they would brief him. Now they're not even going through that process, which means that these people behind the scenes are they're getting bolder and bolder all the time. So no, there is not one individual. And I was talking about this at 6 when the show opened. Obama's not running the show. You see Obama, he's partying. Okay? He's retired. He's enjoying the life of a celebrity, a famous celebrity. He's not running anything. That doesn't mean that he's not in the circle and doesn't have conversations and they tell him what's going on from time to time. But he is not running anything. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess, and I may be wrong. But I'm going to guess that this is Janet Cimarelli with the Morning Health Report.
Janet.
I thought so. Janet Cimarelli with the Morning Health Report from AJ's Natural. Hey, Janet, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Hi, Steve. Okay. All of you, the listeners, they've been taking up the invitation to come and see us at AJ's Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. Lots and lots of people have been introducing themselves as long-term Steve Kane Show listeners, so it's really exciting to meet your listeners face-to-face. Kind of the same fun stuff that you have when you're doing that cruise and you get to see your listeners face-to-face.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to people. Maybe they have gotten away from eating dairy. Maybe they say, I'm lactose intolerant. Well, you know what that tells me? It tells me they're missing the proper enzymes in their digestive tract to break down all different kinds of nutrients and all of the smaller micronutrients that are within dairy. So if people have been staying away from dairy, there's new research that was reported from the Institute for Global Health in Australia, and they said the research followed more than 4,000 60-year-olds, and they found that high consumption, oh my goodness, high consumption of full-fat cheese, yogurt, and milk is linked to a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Who knew? Okay, so using that high-fat, kind of like unprocessed dairy products, and one of the things that I suggest is buy the highest quality you can. It could be organic, might be imported cheeses. So keeping in mind that when you buy those imported cheeses, they have all kinds of naturally present probiotics, and those probiotics, those little buggers, they're the ones that give the cheeses each distinctive flavor. So if you've given up cheese, if you've stayed away from milk, think again and support your...
Now we're running short, but you can get a lot more of Janet Cimarelli today on our radio station, and every Tuesday and Friday you can catch her radio show on whichever one of our radio stations you're listening to us on. Her show's called Health Matters at 10 a.m. Tuesdays and Fridays, and today's Friday. You can stop by AJ's Natural in the Festival Marketplace, which is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road. Over by the food court. You can't miss it. AJ's Natural. All right, Janet Cimarelli, take care. Have a great weekend, and we will talk on Monday. All right, and we are all out of time, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back Monday at 6 a.m.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, that's it. We're done for the day. Hey, guys, listen. Thanks for watching. Before you go, make sure you like the video. I uploaded a new podcast last night with my wife, Kathy, on the Durham investigation. Definitely want to check that out. I got to run. I got 3 meetings I got to do this morning. So the clock is ticking. But I'll see you guys soon. Over the weekend, you'll see me more on the weekend. All right, I'll do a live stream, at least 1 over the weekend, maybe 2. So make sure you get that notification bell clicked and you'll catch that too. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.